Snow is piled up here in Danbury, Connecticut, and after the game got postponed last night, Prowlers and Hat-Tricks ready to do it for real on this Saturday night, the final Saturday of 2025. Good evening, everybody. Will Wiggleman here with you at Danbury Ice Arena. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. They couldn't stop us, at least tonight, as last night the game got postponed due to a blanket of snow that covered the Connecticut area. Prowlers were able to make it back to their hotel as we got here, and then the game was postponed, and by then the snow had started. Able to make it back and hang out in our hotel rooms and watch a little bit of Fed hockey. But now we'll get to watch the Prowlers on the ice as they try and continue rolling against the Danbury Hat-Tricks squad that looks a lot different than it did opening weekend when the Prowlers swept them to win their first two games of the season. We'll have much more coming up for you on the pregame show next. You're watching Port Huron Prowlers Hockey on the PHP Network. Welcome to the new era of Prowlers Hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers Hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back here to Danbury Ice Arena. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks getting set to go just about 5.5 minutes from now. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Before we tune in and lock in to tonight's game, let's take a look at what happened last time these two teams hit the ice, and we'll start with the Hat-Tricks, who played a close game on Friday night against the Binghamton Black Bears. Saturday, not so much. They got mollywopped 11-3 by the Bears. Austin D'Orazio had 4 points. Jesse Anderson had 4 points. Binghamton, 12 straight wins at that point. And, you know, for a Hat-Tricks group that is below 500 right now, 9-11-3 this season, they are 0-8-1 against Binghamton, which means they are very, very good against everybody else. 9-3-2 against the rest of the FPHL. So Binghamton really has been the thorn in the side of the Danbury Hat-Tricks this season, and, well, that continued last weekend. On the Prowlers side, they also saw a lopsided game, but it was a lopsided victory for Port Huron, 7-1. That final over the Blue Ridge Bobcats behind Blake Anderson's 4-point night, including the Michigan goal in the third period. Highlight reel goal for the Prowlers. Goal of the year, certainly. And you know what? If it wasn't for that goal, Nick Swain's goal for Binghamton may have been a goal of the year candidate as well. But the Prowlers scored 4 power play goals in that game, 5 power play goals over the weekend for a man advantage that went 6 full contests without one. So that's one thing that's back on the tracks for the Prowlers. They swept the Bobcats last weekend and helped themselves in the Empire Division standings. As we take a look at where they stand, still in second place, and they got some help last night from the Monroe Moccasins, who beat the Topeka Scarecrows. Prowlers now up by 4 points on Topeka with 4 games in hand. Blue Ridge did get a point last night. They now pull into a tie with the Watertown Wolves for 5th in the Empire Division standings, and just 2 points back of the Hat-Tricks for that 4 spot, which right now it's not looking great for whoever's in that 4 spot. Not only will they have to face Binghamton, it may not be a great team in that 4 spot by record. And, of course, the Indiana Sentinels are red hot, and they are still right there. So they have an opportunity as well, you know, if they continue their strong play, to get themselves back in that hunt. Well, let's take a look at some players to watch for tonight, and we start with the hat tricks, and Alexander Legkov, one of the top players right now in the FPHL, 17 goals, tied for the league lead, 39 points this season. He leads the hat tricks in goals, assists, and points. On the other side for the Prowlers, Reed Cooper had himself a heck of a weekend the last time the Prowlers were here. Got 85 of 86 shots he faced. Got the first shutout in the FPHL this season. And he will be back between the pipes tonight to try for a repeat performance. As we take a look now at the projected lineup for the Port Huron Prowlers. And everything will be staying the same from the win over the Blue Ridge Bobcats a week ago. Everybody still in. Cooper in between the pipes. Bailey Huber backing up. So why change anything if you're on a bit of a winning streak? Of course, the Prowlers do still have players banged up back in Port Huron. So hopefully those guys can start to get healthy and they'll be able to rotate some more guys into this lineup to keep guys fresh. As we are in a tough stretch here, Prowlers will be playing on Wednesday, on New Year's Eve, and then 2 more on next Friday and Saturday. So that's 5 games in about a week's span for the Prowlers coming up. And it all starts tonight. We want to remind you that the Prowlers and Meyer combined for the Goals for Good program. For every goal the Prowlers score this season, Meyer will donate some money to charity to help deliver meals to families in need in our community. So far this season, the Prowlers and Meyer have helped deliver over 4,300 meals. Let's take you down to ice level for tonight's national anthem from Danbury Ice Arena.
Fans, welcome to the ice to sing your national anthem, Loyola.
And that is tonight's national anthem from Danbury. Might want to get her a microphone tomorrow night. But we are moments away from the Prowlers and the Danbury Hat Tricks. Here from Danbury Ice Arena, 3rd meeting between these teams this season. Prowlers won the first 2. Let's take a look at tonight's starting lineup for the Port Huron Prowlers. And they will start with Jamie Bucell, Luke James, and Brett Morick up front. Morick, the extra forward tonight. The Massachusetts connection, Brian Parsons and Brett Lockhart on defense. And Reed Cooper back between the pipes for the Prowlers. That brings us to tonight's starting goaltending matchup. It will be Cooper and Sebastian Risar. First time Prowlers will see Risar this season. And he has come in and become the unquestioned starter for these Danbury Hat Tricks. Started 5 of the last 6 games. He has some strong numbers, but he was pulled in both of his starts last weekend against the Binghamton Black Bears.
We got another birthday. Not a birthday today. We got Jack.
Waiting for the ceremonial puck drop to commence, and then we will be set to go here between the Prowlers and the Danbury Hat Tricks. Face off at the center dot. It will be Bucell against Noah Robinson, who will be taking the draw for the Hat Tricks. To begin this one, thanks so much for tuning in for some post-Christmas fun here in Danbury. And we have it for you here on the PHP Network. And already some pushing and shoving between Morick and Austin Belfay on the far side wing. And now we are underway as Brett Lockhart wires the puck around. Got past Risar. James tried to pop it out towards Bucell. Noah Robinson headman feed looking for Lightcov out of his reach. And it bounces to Cooper. And he gets a snow shower from Lightcov, and Brett Lockhart takes exception to that. And we have our first scrum of the game just 19 seconds in. And it all started with Lightcov giving Cooper a bit of a snow shower after the puck bounced off the corner boards right to him. Port Huron will switch things up ahead of this defensive zone faceoff. Danbury bench can't believe that the Prowlers were allowed to make a change there. John Bierchin, the head coach, and assistant coach John Krapinski both had their arms up in the air. Off the face-off, loose puck in the slot. Turnaround try by Robinson, didn't get all the way through. Belfay. Now Robinson pulls it out of the corner. Poked away from him. Belfay takes over. Tried to turn it towards the net. Off the back wall. Lucas Lockney scoops it up for the Prowlers, and he tosses it out of the zone. Austin Pickford, one of the newest hat tricks. Ahead to Lightcov. Down behind the net. Lockney pokes it ahead towards Hakala. Ian Tukane pokes it back towards the Prowlers' end, and Austin Federley takes over, still playing defense in place of the injured Ben Brockway. Nick Favaro wheels ahead, tries to make a couple more moves, and had the puck taken off his stick. DeCumbus tried a handoff, it was stolen. The Prowlers get it right back. It's Blake Anderson, and now DeCumbus. Ahead towards Bobby Price. Puck knocked out of the air, bouncing around. Price has it behind the cage. Now it's Anderson, sweeps it up top. Johnson, D-to-D to Favaro. DeCumbus cycled back down low. Price bounces it to Anderson. Behind the net. Harassed by Tukane. Blake Anderson. And it poked to the point. Favaro on goal, blocked on the way through, and Risar able to get a glove on Price's opportunity from the doorstep. Anderson tried to make a handoff, nobody home, and Crom gets it only as far as Favaro. Anderson has Favaro breaking towards the net. Anderson puts it there, kick save, Risar. Puck cleared out, Bucell, Favaro, turnaround try, and Risar has it covered. Prowlers buzzing around in the offensive zone on that shift, and it was the DeCumbus Anderson Price line doing all that hard work. They get themselves a few good opportunities. Still scoreless. And Jamie Bucell's line works out there. Bucell won the faceoff back clean. Parsons D-to-D to Lockhart. Bounced off his stick. Connor Bazal cycles down deep. Bucell bounced around. James chasing after it. Lakekov gets there first. Takes a check from his 91 opposite Connor Bazal. Sent ahead. Bazal got his stick on the pass. Lockhart for Bazal. James able to tip it in. Prowlers go for a full change. Justin Movalli, number 77. Off to Greg Sosinski. Rink wide feed on the tape of Lakekov, but pass was partially behind him, so he pulled it in offside. Lakekov, again, the leader in goals, assists, and points for this Hat Tricks club. Tied for the FPHL lead with 17 goals. Has a point in 7 of his last 8, with 6 multi-point games in that time. Certainly a top offensive guy to watch out for, and they have him on a separate line from Johnny Ruiz, really to spread out that offense up and down this Hat Tricks lineup. Tukane able to wire it around. Poke to the line, not out. Alex Johnson heads after it behind his net. Price pops it out all the way across, comes to Anderson. Couldn't get it out. Favaro watched by Josh Newberg. Johnson rips it across towards Anderson. Makes a move. Got it to Favaro. Trying to corral that puck. Price, left wing side. Into Favaro. Got a backhander right through the crease. Favaro gets back on the puck. Pushes it up high. Anderson down to DeCumbis. His shot kicked out by Resar. Pickford gave it over to Tukane. DeCumbis in there trying to cause some trouble. Rim back around this way, and Josh Tomasi will try and get his own exit. Ahead to Tukane, the defenseman, 1-on-2. Both teams finishing up changes as Tukane turns it deep. Belfay grabs it on the other side, took a check. Federley and Belfay battling for it. Comes to the line, Movalli couldn't push it deep, knocked down by Lockney. Poked off Lockney's stick. Back in comes Danbury. Robinson to the net. Save Cooper. Rebound was available, and it was pushed just wide. Robinson tried to center. Ends up on Graham's tape. Back passes for Hakela with some skating room. He'll get the red line and send it around. Resar plays it right up into Hakela. Had to take a check from Robinson. Out comes Rubtsov, number 11. Goes on the brakes, trying to slip it down low. Quick shot, they score! And it's Greg Sosinski who gets the Hat Tricks on the board first. Sosinski following up the play, able to slide it low on Cooper. As Rubtsov was blocked there, and looks like the shot by Sosinski may have changed direction. Brian Parsons tried to put his stick back, but for Sosinski, his second goal of the year, signed earlier this month after beginning the season with the Pensacola Ice Flyers in the SPHL. And now has his second as a hat trick. Parsons dumped his man right in front of the Danbury bench. James ahead to Bazal. Wrapped all the way around. Resar stops it there. Kept it moving. Rubtsov touched it out of the zone. Prowlers take back over. Parsons ahead towards Morick, tipped in. Now Crom gave it away. Here comes Bazal. Had poked off his stick by Fennell. Fennell wheeling in. Caden Fennell will just get it down deep and head off for a change. Parmy head back to his defensive position. Brett Morick tried to make a move. Now Johnson able to wrap it around. Resar stops it. Very active Sebastian Resar, stopping pucks behind his net. Johnson towards the net, block, and score! Bobby Price off the broken shot, and the Prowlers tie it just like that. Bobby Price had himself a heck of a night the last time he was in this building. Well, he scored twice to help the Prowlers beat the Hat-Tricks in a series-deciding Game 3, and there he's able to find the puck after Johnson's shot was partially blocked. A little move to the forehand. Beautiful goal there from Price, his 6th of the year. And that line that we talked about earlier, that did all the hard work and had a strong shift, comes through for the Prowlers. Just 61 seconds after the opening goal from Sosinski. Parsons, handoff for Lockhart, had to touch it ahead quickly, and now Bucell through the neutral zone. Gets in, shot blocked. Bucell on the rebound, tried to push it towards the front, and Risar able to cover up. And it's Fronduto sending James to the backboards, and they're tied up. Everybody will have to be pried apart here. Just over 6 minutes gone in period 1. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks each with one on the board. We will take a break right here on the PHP Network.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll take, come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Hello, I'm home. There he is. What is happening? Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch? Spicy. Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite. Can you stop? Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
Back here in Danbury, Greg Sosinski and Bobby Price have the goals. Prowlers and Hat-Tricks tied up at 1 apiece. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us. We'll have some 4-on-4 hockey as both Fronduto and James have gotten 2-minute penalties after that little scuffle, roughing to both sides. And a little open ice here. Offensive zone draw for the Prowlers. Federley couldn't slide it back to Lockney, and Port Huron has to regroup. Federley escapes from Legkov, sends it to Lockney in stride. Lockney to the outside. It's a look, sharp angle try, knocked down by Risar. Legkov has help coming on the left wing. Legkov drops the shoulder, spins back. Robinson to the net, kicked out by Cooper. Tim Morgan behind his cage, slows things down, waits for the Prowlers to get fresh forwards on the ice. Anderson retreating, watched by Crom. Blake Anderson spins it back to Federley. Drop for Favaro, Crom still watching. Prowlers start to work north. Anderson with speed, wheeling ahead. Anderson right up the gut, had it knocked off his stick. Risar kept it moving. Austin Pickford back after it, part of the Vadim Frolov trade earlier this week. Pickford here in Danbury. Amantis Norika, the other player the Hat-Tricks got for Frolov, was activated today but not yet here. So he is not playing in this game, but he may be able to play in the game tomorrow. We'll find out. Because again, the game that was supposed to be played last night at 7:30 was postponed to tomorrow afternoon at 1 p.m. as Prowlers ice the puck here. But that was due to the snowstorm that hit Connecticut. Of course, I know everyone back in Port Huron and the Michigan area also felt that snow just the other day. That storm got here and it crushed the area and again forced the movement of that game to tomorrow afternoon. Here's Artu Hakala, 1-on-4, chips it in, heads after it. Hakala and Pickford get there together. Out to Price, rising shot, stopped by Risa, rebound off the side of the cage. Price up to the point, Parsons looks, gave it back, and Price elects to leave the zone. Back to 5-on-5 with James and Fronduto out of the penalty boxes. Parsons ahead to Bucell. Not a touch on it. Newberg takes over. Off to Tukane. Parsons flags it down in his own end. Couldn't get it past the veteran Newberg. 3 hat tricks, 2 Prowlers digging away. Lockhart gets in there as well to even things up. Bucell finds the loose puck. Bizal for Parsons. Slowly ahead to Bucell. Spins back. Bucell to the net. Stopped by Risar, and it was knocked away from Bizal by Fronduto. Organ to the right wing side looking for Morick. He takes Fennell in. Graham able to pull it out of the pile. Federley walks looking for a shooting lane. Got it to Lockney. He sends it through. That one deflects up out of play. Not sure if it was Risar's stick or a player's stick right in front. We'll get a whistle and a face-off as Fennell and Morick getting into it a little bit. See that shot from Lucas Lockney come through. And Caden Fennell, the rookie defenseman, was signed early November. His only goal this season, his first pro goal, an OT winner here in this building against the Watertown Wolves a week after he was signed. Off this face-off, Prowlers going back to work. Anderson chasing Sosinski behind the net. DeCumbus now in there. Movalli can't escape Blake Anderson, who takes the puck. Anderson wheeling away from Movalli, tried to cut to the net, was blocked off. Anderson with a steal, up to the point. Johnson Arister off a skate. Now it's DeCumbus. Cycling towards Anderson, got past him. Price after in the far corner. Got to put it back down behind the net again. Penalty coming up here as Price was upended by Sosinski away from the puck. And Port Huron is going to get the first power play of this game. Interference the call. As you see Sosinski knock down Price. And a week ago, a power play for the Prowlers may not have felt like such a great thing, but 5 for 16 last weekend against the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Up to 12.4% this season is the Prowlers' man advantage, and they have a chance to take the lead against the 7th-ranked PK in the FPHL that went an even 50% against Binghamton last weekend. Graham had it fired all the way down as Austin Federley was able to block it partially. Port Huron has to reset. Federley up slowly, gets past Crum, dropped it off, but nobody was ready for it. Prowlers have to try again. Johnson gets in, off for Bucell, tried to center towards Graham. Federley keeps in the clearing attempt. Graham in the corner. Up to Federley. Gave it right back. Graham looking across, has it on Johnson's tape. Lockney. Saucer for Federley. Tried to send it down low, blocked by Tukane. He'll skate with it. Lockney challenges him and takes the puck off his stick. Johnson dumped it back deep. Patrick's trying to get it out. Lockney in hard on the forecheck. Austin Pickford will take his time and send it all the way down. Cooper trying to play it away from Fronduto, and he gets it to Hakala. The Prowlers switch units. That wasn't a clean exchange. Price has to come back to rescue the puck. Favaro moving ahead. Force back. Now 30 seconds left on this Prowlers power play. Anderson for Price. Gets in with a nice move, but had it taken off his stick and cleared. Anderson drags it in to the right wing side. Lockhart spins back. Up to Favaro, let it go! Whistled off the backboards. Comes back up high, Favaro again. He'll go to Anderson. Back behind the net, Price, pinned by Mavali, gets away. Penalty has expired. Centering pass for Hakala off his skate, and here come the hat tricks. Sasinski, left wing side, fresh out of the box. Lockhart takes it neatly off his stick. Now Favaro ahead. A stick was lifted, so no icing. Under 8 to go in period 1. Moore came flying in. Tossed on goal. Risar elects to bring it back in and cover up for a whistle and a face-off. And another meeting of the minds around the blue paint. We will take a timeout with 7:46 left to go in the first.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go
Go
Prowlers!
Prowlers!
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers and hat tricks still one apiece with 7:46 left to go in period 1. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for tuning in with us this evening. Again, a day late from when we were expected to get this 2-game series underway, as Brian Parsons wrists it through, and it's swallowed up by Risar. Prowlers with the New Englanders out there on the blue line right now. Here in New England, or New England adjacent, as some might call Western Connecticut. Brian Parsons and Brett Lockhart. Lockhart scored the game-winning goal in the second game of the year here at Danbury Ice Arena. His only goal so far this year. Pickford off the boards, goes out of the zone. Lockhart ahead to James. Gets back in, head up. Tried to send it towards the net off a stick and up out of play. Mill Valley having a chat with Morick. As both teams electing to make changes here ahead of the face-off to Risar's right. Shots 12-5 in favor of the Port Huron Prowlers. One back to the point, Favaro towards the net, and again, over the glass out of play. Hat-tricks will get Movali off in favor of Tukane. And now we'll try again. Referees tonight are William Lyons and Justin Crawford. The linesmen Eric Ellingson and Will Fennon. As Tukane tosses it high and out. Drops past Favaro. He and Legkov cancel out. Johnson coming in trying to get the puck, but Legkov has it. Favaro upended. Price centering feed cut off by Ruiz. And Blake Anderson did all he could just to tie up Johnny Ruiz in a high danger area. That shot blocked by Price, and he gets it out of the zone. Anderson battling with Ruiz for that puck. Comes to Tukane. Pickford bounces it back to Ian Tukane. Reverse in Ruiz's direction. The Prowlers captain bounces it back this side. Port Huron finishing a change. Picked up by Rubtsov. Works to the outside on Federley. Tried to center. Here's Newberg getting into it. Shot off a stick off the back glass. Hakela over to Lockney. As Hakela and Graham driving the net. Lockney's shot rose over top of the cage, and it caroms all the way back down to Port Huron territory where Lockhart collects fresh off the bench. All the way ahead to Hakela. Tips it in. Resar with his goal stick sweeps it around right back into Hakela. Fennell off to Tomasi. Wrapped around, Lockhart gets their head of Fronduto, poked it on towards Hakela. Now it's Movali chipping it to Robinson. 4 Prowlers back as Noah Robinson elects to dump in. Took a funny hop off those corner boards, and Reed Cooper alertly able to get the glove on top. Those corner boards play games here in Danbury. That corner and then the caddy corner on the near side of the ice down in Danbury's end. Prowlers have scored goals that way in this building. Hat tricks have as well. Something the Port Huron netminders were certainly told to stay aware of. Again, take another look. Watch that puck right along the dasher, then popped out right that Twisters dasher board ad. Anderson has to leave the faceoff in favor of DeCumbus. Robinson able to muscle it to the boards. Behind the net, Legkov tied up with Johnson. Legkov escapes, bounced it to the point, and Movali's shot on net was whistled down as the net came off its moorings. Well, fix that, and we'll get another face-off down in Cooper's end. No shots for either side in over 4 minutes of, or over 2 minutes of play, pardon me, at least according to the FPHL website. Robinson's attempt towards the net steered away by Cooper. Sent all the way back around once more. Anderson looking for an escape. Johnson head towards DeCumbus. DeCumbus looking to wheel in, had it knocked off his stick. Robinson had his stick lifted. Blake Anderson turns up. Anderson, sharp angle try, stopped by Resar with the blocker. Puck bouncing around right now. Oregon trying to take control, flips it towards Graham. Movali, D to Pickford. Sent ahead, tipped in by Kenderka. Sent off the glass and out. Sisinski flags it down. Prowlers sneaking in a change here. Sisinski starts to move up ice. Gets to the red line, gets the Prowler blue. Sisinski to the net. And Reed Cooper able to clutch it to his chest. We'll get a whistle and our final timeout of period 1 here on the PHB Network.
Christmas is about gratitude, and we're really thankful for everyone who supported our new coffee launch.
I'm just thankful for this coffee and fire to keep me alive during the holiday rush.
Well, I'm really thankful for this new eggnog latte to keep me warm during
Eggnog. Eggnog. Funny word.
Try any of our new holiday specials at the Milk House. We look forward to warming your soul this holiday season.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers and hat tricks still knotted up at a goal apiece. Late stages of period one, each team with an early goal, just over a minute apart. Hat tricks took a 1-0 lead, and the Prowlers tied it just that quick. Port Huron able to escape its own zone. Pickford looking to put it right back in. Pickford dancing in. He spun himself down to the ice. Legkov centering feed, and Ruiz was blanketed by a couple of Prowlers. Dump back in. Tim Morgan watched by two hat tricks. Lockney back behind his net. Chips it ahead. Federley across towards Organ, who skates into the puck. Organ makes a move on Newberg. Gets ahead, lost it. Back comes Legkov working on Price. Throws on the brakes. Newberg played it to an area. Cleared out of there, but kept alive at the line by Tukane. Organ knocked down. Newberg tried to spin it out in front. Tim Organ is down on the ice. He'll blow it dead, and he might need some help. Hat-trick head trainer Adrian Dembeck is headed that direction with help from Jamie Bucell as you take another look at Tim Organ getting knocked down, and he's still on one knee here, deep in Prowler territory. He gets attended to. Prowlers, of course, already sure defenseman with Ben Brockway still dealing with his upper body injury. Austin Federley back on defense right now, which is usually the contingency plan if the Prowlers lose a defenseman. No contingency plan now. Oregon able to skate back to the bench under his own power. Looks like he'll stay on the bench as he gets attended to. Meanwhile, back on the ice, we'll get a face-off deep in Port Huron's end. Bucell won it back, rimmed around by Parsons. Bazal skates ahead. He fires it in deep, bounced over Resar's stick. Fennell and Bucell come together. Newberg sent it around where Tomasi could grab it. Has Franduto with him. Tomasi dumps the puck in. Lockhart ahead to Morick. Touch to Bazal, all by himself. So he'll send it in and go off for a change. Fennell escapes away from Morick. Up with speed. He saw four Prowlers in front of him and decided to dump it. Johnson trying to get away from Legkov. Robinson from the outside, deflected, and Cooper made a reactionary save. Hat-trick's able to disrupt another clearing attempt by the Prowlers. And this time Lockney able to skate it out. He goes back to Favaro. Danbury back in numbers. Favaro works in from the outside. Taken in by Mavalli. Lockney came in to throw a check. Mavalli tossed it ahead. Graham tied up with Belfay. Robinson got it out. And Hakela goes back to Johnson. Prowlers reset with under 2 to go in period 1. Lockney. 5 hat tricks in front of him. Anderson trying to walk the blue line, lost the handle, and it's poked out. Betterly, and now DeCumbus. Back for Lockhart. Prowlers in no hurry here. Trying to get through again. All 5 hat tricks all the way back in the defensive end. They're in the neutral zone, I should say, as Lockhart wheels in and dumps it around. 2 hat tricks with Blake Anderson digging away. Now 3 hat tricks, 2 Prowlers in there. Sisinski comes away with the puck. One-handed it along to Cumbus, able to take it back for the Prowlers. Final minute of play in period 1. Centering feed by Anderson comes all the way to the point. Lockhart lets it go, deflected, rebound, tied up as Sisinski and DeCumbus were together, and Resar able to stop the deflected shot off the stick of Brian Parsons and tipped by Anderson. We have another little kerfuffle here. Everybody separated. You see the shot from Parsons tipped and stopped by Resar. Blake Anderson was able to get his stick on it. We want to invite you to tune in to the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network. We will go around the Empire, show all the highlights from last weekend's games. You will see the standings at the end. It's not accurate because this was supposed to play yesterday. Also take a look at some storylines from around the league, out-of-town scores, and more. It's all coming up in the first intermission report here on the PHP Network. Anton Rubtsov able to chip it by. Linesman goes down in the collision. Favaro sends it right back up the strong side. Hakala in with Graham and Lockney. Hakala takes the shot, save, rebound, ends up on top of the net as Lockney just got a whack at it. And the puck landed right on top. We get a whistle and a face-off. Shot by Hakala was stopped. Lockney could only swipe at it. Okay, good look here from Aiden Vision. That puck landed right on top of the cage. Off this draw, Rubtsov looks to skate out with Legkov. Got it to Legkov. Has a man breaking to the back door. Got it there. And Robinson couldn't get on the other side of it. Tossed back in by the Prowlers. 5 seconds left to go. James for Bucell. Trying to circle the net with one. Parsons wrists it through. And that hit his own man, James, just as time expires. The Prowlers and Hat-Tricks each get an early goal. And we're tied up at ones through 20 minutes of play. As we get another look at that last shot by Parsons, just trying to get it off before the horn. Didn't get all the way through to the net. Shots on goal in that opening period favoring the Prowlers 17-9, and they had some pretty good shifts in the offensive end. Hat-Tricks had some opportunities as well, but the Prowlers did well to get sticks in lanes that prevent them from turning into shots on goal. But that is where we stand. 1-1 our score through 20 minutes of play. Once again, coming up in the first intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we will go around the Empire. Check out all the highlights from last weekend's games in the Empire Division, Prowlers, Hat-Tricks, and the rest of their division rivals. We'll also take a look at some storylines from around the FPHL as you get a look there at the locker room area here at Danbury Ice Arena. So how about that? Aiden bringing us to all the back areas that you may not normally be able to see. But again, one of the new things that we get to play with here on the PHP Network. Again, we'll also look at some FPHL storylines, even as one of them regards to the ECHL and its players' strike. We'll touch on that briefly. Also, out-of-town scores and more. It's all coming up right here on the PHP Network. Well, didn't get what you wanted for Christmas? Check out the Prowlers Team Store. It's located on the southwest end of McMorran Arena, or you can find it online anytime at shop.phprowlers.com. New stuff is going in all the time. We have still have some of those divisional pucks, which feature every team in each division. So be sure to check that out. Again, you can look at it online right now at shop.phprowlers.com. We'll take a time out. When we come back, around the Empire for this week. It's coming up next here on the PHP Network.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Congratulations on your engagement again, man. You know, you should get some life insurance.
I never really thought about that. How would I do that?
We can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. Congratulations on getting married, man. Have you gotten a house?
We just got one, actually, yeah.
Well, if you want, we can help you out with life insurance at Zach Egan State Farm to cover your mortgage. Is Olin a year old now?
He is.
Wow. Have you guys got life insurance set up on him yet?
I haven't even thought about it yet.
Oh.
How would I go about that?
Well, we can help you with that at Zach Egan State Farm. High five?
Yeah, hon, we should have gotten life insurance years ago.
Hey, Ken. We've actually got a policy for people your age at Zach Egan State Farm. Give us a call.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Explore the 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron, that is Michigan's Thumb Coast. Discover charming coastal towns, serene beaches, and endless outdoor adventures. Stay at cozy hotels, paddle through pristine blue waters, and hit the fairways along breathtaking views. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here on the PHP Network, Prowlers tied with Danbury out in Connecticut, 1-1 after 20 minutes of play. Bobby Price's goal, the equalizer for Port Huron. As Will talked about earlier, he's going to take you around the Empire. Had some great goals, some exciting overtime contests. Let's take a look at what's been happening in the Prowlers division with Around the Empire.
Let's begin out east with the Hat Tricks visiting the Black Bears. Starting the first period on Friday, it's 1-0 Binghamton. How about this passing play? Gets back to CJ Stubbs, and he puts it home to make it 2-0. Early in the second, Black Bears on a rush, and the puck pinballs to Tyson Kirkby. It's 3-0 Binghamton. But later in the period, it's 3-1 now. Here comes Johnny Ruiz off the turnover, his second breakaway goal in under 4 minutes. Hat Tricks have a chance, but Dominic Tomei was perfect in the final 20 as Danbury's comeback fell short. It was close for about half the game the next night. Just over 8 minutes left in the second one-goal game. Kyle Steffen stick handles himself to the slot and puts it home to make it 4-2. Final minutes of the period. Gavin Yates with great vision to find Austin Durazio. Wheels coming off for Danbury. It's now 6-2. Skip a few in the third. Nick Swain, dirty toe drag, and he tucks it. 10th of the night for the Black Bears. Beautiful goal from Swain. Binghamton hangs 11 to sweep Danbury for the second straight weekend. Wolves travel to Indiana for the first time ever. First period on Friday, Sentinels up 2-1. Max Tortorella catches up to the loose puck and puts it home on the backhand. Final minute of the period. Trevor Graspy able to poke home the loose puck in the blue paint, and it's a 1-goal game. In the second, tied up now. Here comes Graspy shorthanded. He completes the natural hat trick, an even strength goal, power play goal, and a shorthanded marker for the now Topeka Scarecrow. Watertown in front. Minutes later, they stretch it on for Darian Bencic. And the Wolves win a barn burner to open the weekend. Goals kept coming the next night. Less than 4 minutes in, already 1-0 Indiana. And off a turnover, Ryan Glazer makes it 2-0. So now it's tied midway through the second. Stephen Klink floats it through the traffic, somehow gets through everybody and finds the back of the net. And all of a sudden, the Wolves are in front. Indiana got a 5-minute power play in the third, and they made good on it. First, it's Denver Craig knotting the score back up. Then in the final seconds of that same power play, Ethan Esposito. Sentinels in front. And they got 4 power play goals and picked up their first win at Hamilton Community Ice Arena. Head up north to Port Huron, where 2 struggling teams matched up. Starting late in the first on Friday, it's tied up at 1. R2 Hakela turnaround rip. Second of the period for Hakela. And the Prowlers took the lead into the locker room. Played off the opening drop of the second, Nikita Kazirev. Couple of nice moves, weaves in, and he ties it right back up. A few minutes later, shot by Brian Parsons, tipped, and it was waved off initially, but they blew things down to take a look, and we'll take a look at the overhead. There you see, in the back of the net, that's a good goal, and it was the game winner as the Prowlers held on thanks to that big save from Reed Cooper right as time expired to snap a 6-game losing streak. Port Huron dominated the next night. Starting the second period, here comes Blake Anderson. Feathers a pass through to Hakela. Hakela's 3rd goal of the weekend. Makes it 2-0. And then we got a goal of the year candidate. It's 5-0 Prowlers at this point. The Michigan from Blake Anderson. Let's watch that one a few more times from all angles. Beautiful play, scoops up the puck and just over Hunter Verostik's glove. Prowlers score 4 power play goals en route to a season-high 7 total in the rout of the Bobcats, who now drop 6 of their last 7. Let's wrap it up on the Gulf Coast with a couple of interdivision overtime games. Starting the first period on Friday, Scarecrow's Jacob Gagnon, turnaround shot, and he breaks the ice. But that lead only lasted 28 seconds. Decided to go get the puck to the net. Matt Bazarin right there at the top of the blue paint to deposit the rebound. That was the only scoring in regulation, as the game winner came in OT.
Blaisdell pinned to the wall now. Feeds it there for Wilson. Wilson pinching and shot goal! Elijah Wilson buries it as the Scarecrows come away with the W.
John Clement on the call on the Scarecrows YouTube channel. Wilson scores the OT winner against his former team for the 2nd time this season. Another tight battle the next night. Second period, it's 2-1 Baton Rouge. Dmitry Kuznetsov. Ayla slipped that one along the ice, 5-hole. Zydeco up 2. Scarecrows on the comeback trail. 3-2 now. Gagnon sends it through. 3rd power play goal of the game for Topeka, and that one sent it to overtime.
Elijah Wilson has both overtime tallies for Topeka. One back, it's Connor Lind. Lind muscling that puck forward, gets over the red line, over the blue line, hustling towards the net. Lind, backhand shot, goal! Connor Lind in 9 seconds. Forehand, backhand, Connor Lind.
Scarecrows strike twice in OT to sweep. Zydeco dropped 3 home games in overtime during that week in a row. Take a look at the standings. Prowlers gained a couple of points back on the Scarecrows in the race for second. Bobcats free fall drops them down to 6th. Prowlers and Hat Tricks have much more to go in this one. 40 minutes left and maybe more. We'll have much more coming up for you next on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome back to Danbury. Prowlers and Hat Tricks tied up at a goal apiece. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thanks so much for joining us tonight. Before we get back to this one, let's take a look around the FPHL. We start with our league storylines. And we start with a big trade announced earlier this week. Trevor Graspy, the defending FPHL Rookie of the Year, although I don't think that's an award you can really defend because you can't really win it again. But anyway, he gets traded from the Watertown Wolves to the Topeka Scarecrows in exchange for Hunter Hall, Zach Papapetros, and a player to be named later. So that one a huge blockbuster deal as the Scarecrows add another high-caliber forward. You think of the guys they have there, and Scott Koash, Elijah Wilson, TJ Sneath, and Hugo Koch, and now adding Trevor Graspy to that group. And again, they trade away, though, one of their top defensemen in Zach Papapetros, but they do get Hunter Hall, they do get Graspy, the defending FPHL Rookie of the Year, who had a league-high 66 assists last season. Thunderbirds adding to their blue line with Joe Kennedy, who was thought to be done and not playing this season, but he re-signs here in December. 19.62 PIMs in 48 games last season as one of their top pairing defensemen, and that's part of a remade Twin City Thunderbirds blue line that includes former Danbury hat trick Josh LaBelle, who got traded there earlier this year, as they continue to try and climb back from what was a rough start to this season. And right now, they're in 4th place in the Continental Division. That's that last playoff spot in the division, and thanks in part to the PD Ice Cats free fall, who PD 1-7-2 in their last 10. And finally, speaking of the Thunderbirds, Zach White and Roman Kramer have returned from the ECHL, although they didn't get to play a game in the ECHL because both of the Norfolk Admirals games were canceled. Norfolk called up 4 players from the FPHL, 2 from the Thunderbirds and 2 from the Blue Ridge Bobcats. Didn't play either of their games this weekend, and I can tell you for certain from my sources that they called more players in the league, to try and put together a team for those 2 games, which again were canceled because of the players' strike, the PHPA, the Pro Hockey Players Association strike that is affecting the ECHL. The league has not played games this weekend. They've been scrambling to try and put together teams to continue their season as contract negotiations and the collective bargaining agreement have broken down. And we may see more Fed players get caught in the middle of this as that situation continues to move along. Let's take a look continue going around the league and look at our out-of-town scoreboard here presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. And we start with the game that began before this one did. It's a 4-1 lead for the Binghamton Black Bears in Watertown right now as they are wrapping up period number 2. Zach Sirota, Austin Thompson, CJ Stubbs, and Kyle Steffen. The goals for the Bears. Jake Schultz, a former Black Bear, the only goal for Watertown. They have just hit the second intermission there. Right now it's 2-0 Rock Lobsters. 2 goals from Danil Glukariev, fresh off suspension. They lead the PD Ice Cats in Athens. The Columbus River Dragons have a 1-0 lead on the Thunderbirds thanks to a Schweden Blacksmith goal. They are playing in Columbus. Blue Ridge Bobcats trying to rebound from a rough last couple of weeks. They are up 2-1 in Indiana, dropped the game last night against the Sentinels in a shootout as they play in period 1. A couple more games coming up. Moccasins at Scarecrow, Zydeco at Breakers. We actually do have the starting goaltenders for the one in Biloxi. Connor Green going for the Zydeco, Anton Borodkin for the Breakers. Of course, here it's 1-1 between the Hat Tricks and the Prowlers. Once again, the Outtown scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. Take a quick look at the stats from this game so far before we drop the puck on period number 2. Prowlers dominating in the shots on goal department 17-9, unsuccessful on their only power play of the game, and very low penalty minute totals, especially for a game between the Prowlers and Hat Tricks. We will see if I regret saying that. Teams getting set for the start of the Hungry Howie's second period here in Danbury. Once again, thanks so much for joining us on this holiday weekend, the weekend after Christmas. Maybe you're just trying to decompress after visiting family or family visiting you, but we thank you for joining us here on the PHP Network. Hat Tricks trying to keep the puck deep in Prowlers ice as Brett Lockhart wheels around behind his net. Slid it ahead, and it's tapped to Bucell. Brett Morick enters the offensive zone, trying to drive the net. Morick a chance, saved by Resar, keeps play moving as he put it right into Morick, who was upended behind the net. Moved ahead by Fronduto, stymied at the red line by Johnson. Morick and Newberg were tied up right along the bench. Newberg shook his gloves like he wanted to fight, but Brett Morick decided he needed a line change. Keep an eye on those two the rest of this game as Austin Pickford trying to go end-to-end. His pass was blocked away, and up comes Hakala on the counter. Enters the offensive zone, played it to the middle, and poked right out by Robinson. Favaro wheels it in deep. Pickford tried to keep it moving. Price fresh off the bench blocked his first attempt to get out of the zone. Second one was successful. Johnson for Graham. Left wing side, it's Favaro. Tried to float it across and ends up with Belfay. Now Fennell working one-on-one against Johnson. Knocked off his stick. Legkov gets to the puck first. Belfay tried to push it back down deep. Robinson pulled it off the wall, but couldn't get in a shooting position. Price able to sweep it back towards the boards. Anderson couldn't chip it out. Johnson will chase back for it. He has some room. Both teams making changes as it got through Price. And no icing here, just delayed offsides against the Prowlers. Tukane, right wing side, it's Fennell. Dumped in. Oregon, chip off the boards and out of the zone. Tukane all the way around. Took a funny hop off the door. Tim Oregon and Crom in there. They're trying to dig it free from, again, right in that Zamboni door. Finally it pops out. Pamaleon swept it up top. Sasinski walks, floats it through, and a save made by Cooper through the traffic. James skating out. Chased by Crom, cuts him off, and James able to get the puck deep. Risar for Sosinski. In no hurry as his team completes a change. Sent it to the right wing side. Crom dumps it around. So we approach 3 minutes gone in period 2. Hakala run over by Mavalli. Ruiz steps off the wall. Up by Mavalli, shot blocked by Hakala. Ruiz comes back to grab the puck. Dump back in by Tukane. Legkov collects the dump. Tried to center. Puck bouncing around. And it's cleared out of the zone by Lockhart. Tukane puts it right back in. Lockhart under pressure. Got it ahead towards Hakalo. Just got a stick on it. This one slides all the way down. But icing waved off. Tukane ahead for Legkov. Wheeling in 1-on-3. Legkov stood up by Favaro as he had the puck knocked off his stick. James ahead to Anderson. Now on to Price. He took a bump from Pickford and was dislodged from the puck. And then Price ran into a hat trick on his way out of the zone. Johnson back towards Price. Off his stick. Hat trick's trying to move it ahead, but the puck was bouncing. Dump back in by Tukane. Favaro for James. Fanned on his first pass attempt. Loose puck. Grabbed by Fronduto. Has Tukane with him. Gave it there. And Tukane's shot disrupted by Favaro's stick. Favaro tries to head up. Ducks past the check. Sent back the other way towards Legkov. Chasing with Johnson. And Johnson wins the race for icing. And we will get a whistle and a face-off. Shots 1-1 so far in this second period, but it has seen plenty of action, not too many whistles. Bucell and Robinson get set for this face-off. Tied up, Oregon trying to pinch in. Morick able to keep it deep for a moment. Now Sosinski off the far boards. Bounced out. Oregon flags it in his own end. Sent it right back up into Legkov. Sosinski touches it deep. Federley chased by Sosinski, but it was the delayed offside situation, so we get a whistle. And we'll take a timeout here on the PHP Network as the Prowlers and Hat Trick still tied up at 1 apiece. Welcome back here to Danbury. As I was talking, you could see me talking, but I forgot to turn on my mic. Here's Lucas Lockney trying to center. Comes out to Lockhart. Drags it through, and a shot ends up over the glass out of play. Shout out to Aiden for getting the shot of me in the broadcast booth. Unfortunately, I completely muffed the whole thing by forgetting to turn on my mic. That's all right. We'll work on it. Graham wins the draw back. Lockhart, D to Parsons. Wrists it off the backboards. Fennell got it only as far as Lockhart. Sends it back down deep. Centering feed. Didn't get all the way to Graham. Lockhart couldn't keep it in with his hand. Hat-Tricks trying to move up with numbers. Pamaleon all the way across to Crom. Takes the shot. Swallowed up by Cooper. As Brett Lockhart wasn't able to keep that puck in with his hand. The Prowlers get a defensive zone face-off as Brian Parsons, you see him heading off. Tecumseh and Ruiz on this draw. Pulled to the line, Pickford floats it through and kick save by Cooper. Johnson just did get it over the lines. Pickford tapped it back in. Hat-Tricks touch up, go back on the attack as Johnson gets it out towards Price. Anderson able to drag it into the offensive zone, but lost it to Legkov. Favaro pinching in to give Rubtsov some trouble. Two-line pass ahead to Ruiz, gets to him. Ruiz, inside out move, takes the shot. He drew a penalty as he shot it wide. And Danbury will get its first power play of the game, tripping the call against Alex Johnson. They stretched it ahead for Ruiz. It was partially impeded by a Prowler stick, but it still got to the Hat-Tricks captain. Nice inside-out move by Ruiz, and Johnson's stick stuck right in the leg. The Hat-Tricks power play, which scored once last weekend against the Binghamton Black Bears. 12th in the FPHL right now, just under 15%. They'll go to work for the first time in this one. Here is Ruiz. Gets it back. Gave it back to Crom. Ruiz once more. Harassed by Hakala. Puck taken off Ruiz's stick. Federley's without a twig. So Prowlers defending a man short and a stick short for Austin Federley. Pass back in front, and Belfay didn't get a good touch on it. Puck just does escape the zone as Federley able to pick up his stick. Lockhart takes a look over his shoulder, wings it off the glass and all the way down. Pickford behind his net, starts up the ice. Rubtsov, right wing Belfay. Off the back wall, all the way around. Fronduto throws on the brakes, slips it to the line to Pickford, who walks. Pickford off the back glass. Rubtsov didn't get much on that pass, got to a teammate though. Robinson's rip, missed on the short side, tried to go top corner. Parsons one times the puck all the way down to Risar. 43 seconds left in the Hat-Tricks power play. Zasinski slipped it ahead through Legkov. Now Price trying to work up shorthanded. He's able to push it deep. Fronduto chased by Bobby Price. Still with it. Left wing side Robinson to the net, sticked away by Cooper. Robinson back on it. Stick went flying. That belongs to Federley, who's lost his stick for the second time in this penalty kill. But the pass was missed. That's as good as a Prowler clear. Federley has his twig again, and Johnson is back on the ice. They stretch it on for Legkov. Has a man going to the net, got it there. Pamaleon missed on the short side from in tight, and the Prowlers survived that rush. Danbury has come out strong in this second period. And they had a 3-on-1 there briefly. Zach Pamaleon trying to be too fine to pick that near side corner. Take another look. Had some room. Not sure if the sliding Johnson made any difference. We're back to 5-a-side hockey as Johnson Muscled off. Here's a shot. Score! Kinderka from the slot as the puck came out to him. Hat-Tricks had the lead back. Third of the year for Kinderka. And it's right off the face-off. Good forecheck by Crom. And it just comes right out to him. Cooper got a piece, but not enough. And Kinderka, who's had some trouble finding the back of the net recently, just one goal over his last 12 games. Able to find the net there. Hat-Tricks with their second lead of the night. They move up looking for more as Mavali chipped it off the glass. Lockhart looking to go the other way. James, cross corner dump. Bazal after it. Steps in front of Fennell.
Danbury goal. His third of the season, scored by number 13, Katie Kinderka.
James and Mavali come together. Loose puck, grabbed by Bazal. Tried to turn it on net. Bucella shot. Stopped by Resar. Puck was available. It's still loose, and they score! It ended up in the net. The referee pointed, and we have a brouhaha. Prowlers celebrate. That puck was never covered by Resar. I don't know who got it. Watch again. Bucell shot, not handled cleanly. It was still loose. Hard work down low, and you see the referee behind the net point. No idea who they're going to give it to, but for the second time in this game, the Prowlers tied up in short order. See if we get a good look here on Aiden Vision. Luke James, Jamie Bucell in there, trying to will that puck over the line, and they did. So just that quickly tied up once again. The shot by Pickford off a skate and wide. This time it only took 34 seconds for the Prowlers to tie it. They're giving it to Luke James right now. It's his third of the season. Ruiz turns in. His shot grabbed and held by Cooper. Some blue collar work in the blue paint for the Prowlers' third line, and they're rewarded. Face-off coming to Cooper's left. Hat-Tricks have dominated the shots on goal in this second period. Right now, according to the in-arena shot clock, which is what we're going with on our broadcast, Hat-Tricks are up 11-1 in shots on goal in this period. Here's Lucas Lockney, or pardon me, 6-1 in this second period. I'm bad at math. Rimmed around by Rupsov. Johnson takes the handoff from Cooper as we pass the midway point of the game, tied up at 2. Tomasi played it off a skate from Duto, gave it right to Hakala. His shot off the stick of Sisinski and up out of play. We'll take a break. These teams like to score close to each other. They've done it again here in period 2. It's 2-2.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
Explore 140 miles of stunning shoreline along Lake Huron in Michigan's Thumb Coast. Begin your adventure on a blanket of golden sand at one of our serene beaches. Connect with the historic atmosphere of our region's nautical influence and reconnect with friends under a blanket of stars. Plan your perfect getaway at bluewater.org.
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers just 34 seconds after falling behind for the second time tonight. Somehow, somewhere in that pile, there's a puck, and it ended up in the back of the net. Referee had a great look at it behind the cage, and, well, Port Huron back to even as Resar clamps the glove down on that loose puck. In the first period, it was 1 minute and 1 second between the Hat Tricks taking the lead and the Prowlers tying it. Face-off between now Bucell and Newberg as Morick was asked to lead the draw. Tossed out all the way down. Newberg is down on the ice. Meanwhile, Parsons able to grab the puck and send it ahead. Rink-wide feed comes to Bucell. In the middle, Morick shot stopped by Resar. Lockhart down towards James, keeps it moving. Tukane spun off of Morick. Rondito bangs it off the boards. Lockhart retreats. And back for Parsons. James right in, knocked down by Resar. Sweeps it around towards Fennell. Rookie defenseman wheels ahead, gets to the red line, sends it around. Sosinski back. Bumped it ahead. Here's Federle. Backpedaling. Back to Anderson. On goal. Tipped wide by DeCumbis. Swept it back in front. And Price shut down by Resar on the doorstep. Legkov ahead, working on Organ. Legkov to the net. Puck is loose in the slot. Organ grabs it. Prowlers up with numbers. Organ to the right wing side. Anderson lets it go, and he missed wide on the far side. Johnson hustles off the bench to grab the puck back in his own end. Up and down action. Mo Valley fired it off his own man Legkov as he tried to dump it deep. Graham enters the offensive zone, but offside at the line. 8:05 left to go in period two. Both teams getting rush opportunities. A face-off just outside of Hat Trick's territory. Johnson, cross-corner dump. Pickford gets to it there. Here's Hakala off the missed pass. Save. Resar rebound there. Look, jamming away Lockney. It wouldn't go. And now it's in. It did go. Lucas Lockney was poking away at the post. Prowlers are taking their first lead of the night. It may have gone all the way across to Matt Graham. Let's take another look. Resar got the stick down, the paddle down, and yes, it did come through to Graham, who is on the back post. And he stuffs home his team-high 11th of the year. Great look here from Aiden. Lockney was poking away. See it come out right to Graham. And he's able to put it home on our Elite Electric replay. Two in-tight goals for the Prowlers in this period down there in the blue paint. John Bierchin may be asking the challenge for goaltender interference. And it looks like we will get a challenge here. Let's see if you can see any kind of, I don't know if it's goalie interference or what they're challenging for. I didn't see anything. Lockney was on one side of the net. Graham was on the other side of the net. Let's see if we can look at it again here. And there's Lockney forcing it through. There's Graham on the other side. I don't see anybody touch Resar. Maybe they're wondering if that puck actually did cross the goal line. There was a hat trick sitting in the net, trying to block it. Can't see from that angle, and yes, they do confirm it's a good goal. So we may be getting a Prowlers power play here after all of that. We're looking for a pregame meal. Zip Sauce Burger is located in the Industrial Park Marathon. Zip Sauce, the official burger of the Port Huron Prowlers. So they do confirm the good goal call. And again, I do believe this means there will be a penalty against the hat tricks, as John Bierchin choosing his sacrifice, and it will be Alexander Leitkov. The Prowlers will go to their second power play of this game. And a chance to increase their first lead of the game. Port Huron 0 for 1 on the man advantage as Bucell elects to start it back in his own end. As he sent it back towards Federley, who gets past Crom. Federley with skating room. Looks to his right, drifts that way. Back pass all the way across. Lockney rips it wide. Bucell picks it up, gets it back to Johnson. D to D. Federley walks in. Over to Bucell. A shot missed. And comes to Federley. Graham. Saucer. Johnson lets it go. Kick save. Resar. Rebound blocked by Mavalli. And he's able to clear. So that, by the way, that last Prowler goal currently being credited to R2 Hakala, but should be Matt Graham's goal. As Nick Favaro, at the halfway point of this Prowlers man advantage, gets it back to Anderson. Favaro steps in, shoots, stopped, and the rebound backhanded as far as the line. Sisinski just rips it all the way around, kept alive by Lockhart. Price behind the cage to Anderson. Out to Favaro. Takes a look. Lockhart at the top. Price walks back over towards Lockhart. I think he may have thought that was going to Favaro. 27 seconds left on the Prowlers power play as it's batted around. Fennell couldn't get it through, or he did get it through Favaro, and now here's a short-handed chance towards Belfay, but the pass missed him. Frustrated Austin Belfay takes a seat on the bench. 10 seconds left on the Port Huron man advantage as Lockhart wheels in to the left wing side. Bazal pushed all the way around. Prowlers in the midst of a change here. Morick grabs the puck down to Bazal. Up high, Parsons walks the line, wrists it wide. Legkov fresh out of the box, played it to an area. Morick came back for it. Fennell got it only as far as Brett Morick. Bazal right back in deep. Sisinski and James cancel out. Tossed all the way down, and this one will go the length for an icing. Prowlers 0 for 2 on their man advantage in this game, as they got 2 shots on net during that power play. 5:22 left to go in period 2. Couple of greasy goals for Port Huron in this second period. See Matt Graham there, set for a face-off against Josh Newberg. Sits on the dot, now Fennell. They will toss it ahead for Fronduto. Too far in front of him. Fennell backing up the play. Got it to Legkov. Sent it towards Fronduto. Just wouldn't settle down for him. Federley off the boards and out. D-to-D pass comes to Pickford. Trying to skate in. Pickford dancing. And Federley took it neatly off his stick. Kendurka to the net, blocked by Lockney out of the zone. Kendurka back in. Took a hop off the Zamboni door and went right across the blue paint as Reed Cooper went back to play it. Here's Legkov wheeling in, toe drag to the backhand, and a save by Cooper. As Alexander Legkov showed off the hands. We will take a timeout. Prowlers in front for the first time tonight.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's.
Back here in Danbury, Prowlers with a 3-2 lead over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. You see Coach Paulin and the rest of the Prowlers bench. Port Huron trying to pick up its third straight victory. Not only in this building, or not only against the Hat-Tricks this season, but also third straight overall right now, as they won back-to-back against the Blue Ridge Bobcats last weekend to get themselves out of a funk. They have the lead here as Vinny DeCumbus looks to wheel ahead. Anderson tried to turn back, and Legkov has it. Tukane ahead to Robinson, has Belfay with him, elects to rim it deep. Legkov beats everyone to the puck. Belfay tied up with Anderson. Legkov one-hands it to Pickford at the line, trying to slip past the check of Anderson, couldn't do it. Johnson spins away from Belfay. Anderson rink wide feed, knocked down, but still got all the way to Bazal. Noah Robinson to the left wing side. Kendurka lost the handle. Parsons, D to D. Favaro tipped in by Bucell. Puck sliding around as the Hat-Tricks couldn't get a pass to connect. Luke James hustling there along with Tukane. Morick back for Lockhart, D to D. James throws on the brakes but lost the puck as he did. He had Morick hustling towards the net. Sasinski works ahead on the left wing side. Big Greg Sasinski gets to the net. Shot stopped by Cooper. Crom was dumped in front by Parsons. Here's Lockhart. Under 3 to go in period 2. Tried the long feed to James. Knocked back by Mavalli. Mavalli quick up. Dumped back in by Sasinski. Lockhart all the way ahead to Morick. And Morick run into the boards by Mavalli. Here's Lockney with the puck, surrounded. Mavalli off the glass, out of the zone. Mavalli and Morick fought opening weekend between these teams. It was Brett Morick's pro debut. Here's Lockney, a rising shot. Resar got a piece of it. Hat-Tricks trying to move out of their zone. Pamaleon all the way ahead to Legkov. Couldn't drag it through, left it behind. Prowlers on a counter. Graham drops for Hakela. His shot stopped, rebound available, and cleared only as far as Legkov. Hakela tried to turn it back on net, and Resar alert for another stop. Rupsov put it right on Federley's tape, and it's tipped back in deep. Minute 45 left to go in period number 2. Tukane chased down by Price, dumps it deep. Bavaro bounces it ahead. Anderson kicked along by DeCumbus. Couldn't reach back out for it though. Bavaro this time to Anderson, and now DeCumbus with Price. Gave it to him. Bobby Price turns back. Over to Favaro. Looking towards the net, and he'll just float it down deep. Ronduto trying to work it out. Pickford as well. He does get it to the neutral zone. Johnson with under a minute to go in period 2. Now to Anderson. Cross corner dump. Flag down by Fennell. Tomasi gave it away. James a rip over top of the cage. They dig away along the half wall. James comes up with the puck. Saucered around toward Bucell. Up top, Parsons, Lockhart. Looking back door, had Bucell heading that way, but he was tied up with Fennell. Bazal tried to bounce it back to the point, but Tomasi picked the puck off. 20 seconds left to go in the period. Hat-Trick's hustling to join Josh Tomasi. Whistles blow. There's something going on behind the play between Fennell and Bucell. And that negates the entire rush for the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Well, coming up in the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network, we will send it back to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton, and he will have highlights and analysis from the first 40 minutes of play. Also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. Fennell, the only one going to the box, so it's a Prowlers power play. We'll see if they can get something done quickly. 10 seconds left to go in the period. Federley walks down to Lockton in front. Glove save. Resor, what a stop. Austin Federley threw his hands in the air. He thought that was a goal. But Sebastian Resor able to reach back the glove and rob Matt Graham of his second goal this period. Great passing from the Prowlers here. Graham had a wide open end. Resor with that left hand robs him. Graham with 2 just to sweep it on net. One more save for Resor, and this Prowlers power play will leak into the second period. All right, Port Huron will take the lead into the final 20 minutes of play. And they'll try and continue their winning streak. Prowlers up on shots right now, 32-18 through 40 minutes of play. Much better back half of that second period versus the front half. Once again, coming up on the second intermission report right here on the PHP Network. Highlights and analysis from Brady Beaton all the way back in our McMorran Place studios, and then whatever the heck Brady also wants to do. I'm sure he has his own little segment planned out as well. Also take a look at the Prowlers' upcoming schedule, out-of-town scores, and much more. It's all coming up here on the PHP Network. The Prowlers will take this lead into the final 20 and try and finish off a victory over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. While you're waiting for period 3 to commence, you can grab your tickets to Prowlers' next home game. That is January the 2nd, 7:05 p.m. against the Indiana Sentinels. Get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets or call 810-985-6166. Scan that QR code on your screen now. That will be 80s night, so dress in your favorite leg warmers, and we will have an 80s sports athletic wear contest. I know I'm butchering the wording on that, but we'll have plenty of contests. We'll also have a free Prowlers jersey for the first 500 fans 21 and over in attendance, and that is courtesy of the exhibit. So be sure to get there early and get your free jersey. We will take a break as Brady Beaton coming up in our McMorran Place studios.
Christmas is about gratitude, and we're really thankful for everyone who supported our new coffee launch.
I'm just thankful for this coffee and fire to keep me alive during the holiday rush.
Well, I'm really thankful for this new eggnog latte to keep me warm.
Eggnog. Eggnog. Funny word.
Try any of our new holiday specials at the Milk House. We look forward to warming your soul this holiday season.
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rear-view mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Come on, guys, hop in.
We're not getting in that thing. That thing's gross.
Yeah, I wore my nice pants today. This thing could use a detail. Well, I don't know. Do you know anybody who could detail a boat?
I think that guy could.
Hi, I'm Logan from Ballard's Detail. I can detail your boat.
From oxidized and faded to smooth and glossy, our professional compounding and waxing process will get your boat looking new again. Contact us today at 810-956-8318. Visit us on Facebook at Ballard's Detail LLC.
Head over to the Birchwood Mall for your shopping and entertainment needs. Hop on the carousel, shoot some hoops, or visit some of their great stores such as Gerlach's Woodworks, where they specialize in handcrafted wooden decorations. Add to your fan cave a Prowlers theme creation. Upgrade your bathroom at Luxury Bath Mobility Remodelers. They can fully customize your bath or shower to fit your needs, and they also do flooring. For the sports fan in your life, pick up a unique gift from Pro Edge Sports. Jam-packed with all kinds of memorabilia. There's something for everyone. And it's not a trip to the mall without Auntie Anne's pretzels. Grab a freshly made full-size cup of pretzel bites and wash it down with some frozen lemonade. At the Birchwood Mall, you can find this and more. Visit them on 24th Ave in Fort Gratiot.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Hello, I'm home. There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah.
Just one little bite. Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a hope play. I'll take. Come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Back here on the PHP Network, live from the McMorran Studios, Port Huron leading Danbury after 40 minutes of play, 3-2. Let's take a look to how we got to this point in this game. First period didn't have a ton of action. A lot of backloaded highlights here. Here in the first period, Danbury did get it started. They got on the board early, and they had the crowd on their feet, having to wait an extra day to finally see this action. But a lot of traffic out in front of the net, and Reed Cooper gets beat, and it's 1-0 Danbury, although moments later the Prowlers get back on the board. They make it 1-1 goal coming from Bobby Price. Alex Johnson credited with the assist for the Prowlers. And that would be really the only scoring of the first period. We would go to the second, Will, in a little bit of a tighter space up there. But the second period underway, it started off the first 10 minutes a little slow. Alex Johnson had to take a penalty to avoid what would have been a grade A scoring opportunity for Danbury. So he takes the penalty, but special teams on both sides have been pretty strong as it eventually does lead to this goal from Danbury. They get right back on top 2-1, but Port Huron here on the road, they've had a lot of resolve. They've been able to answer quickly, as here you see from the pass out in front, right hash mark, and Cooper beat against maybe a little bit of a friendly fire on the screen, but Port Huron gets it right back. This is a crazy scrum out in front. Looks like the play's done. The linesman behind, right on top of it, calling for the goal, and Port Huron ties it up. Again, a little extracurriculars, and here's another angle. If you can see the puck after this point, feel free to point it out to me. All I know is you see the official behind emphatically point to the back of the net, and not a lot of argument coming from those in orange sweaters. A few little pushes and shoves after, nothing too bad. But Port Huron would take their first goal of the lead. Again, it hasn't been pretty. Will said it. Some blue-collar goals for Port Huron here in the second period. This one very scrambly, and somehow the crafty veteran, Matt Graham, just seems to find himself in the right place at the right time. Danbury would challenge. It was upheld. Again, I don't know if they were challenging for goaltender interference or what the challenge was. Whatever it was, the goal was upheld. Rezar does stop Port Huron from extending the lead to 4-2, but Port Huron 3-2 after 40 minutes of play. And in that back half, Port Huron has heavily outshot Danbury. They've really controlled the pace of play. And one thing that I've liked from Port Huron that you've noticed with the 2 wins against Blue Ridge, and it's carried over here to Danbury, they're not playing any softer. They're not playing without the edge they normally play with. However, they're playing a little smarter. They're not in the penalty box. They're not putting themselves in tough positions. And I mentioned it during the highlights. The resolve as well. They give up an early goal. Hey, you've been sitting around all day. You don't quite have that rhythm that you had after the game was canceled last night. Very easy to give up early momentum. Bang, answer back. In the second period, Danbury takes the lead, and they get it right back, and then they take the lead themselves, and it hasn't been the prettiest. I don't think either of those last two, the Matt Graham or Luke James goal, I don't think it's going to open up any highlight packages here on the PHP network or for those two individually, but they all count the same. And sometimes when you go on the road, and Danbury, I know they're not what they've been in years past, still a tough barn to go in and play. You're going to need to get some of those gritty, tough goals that aren't the prettiest, but they all count the same. Port Huron up 3-2 as the second intermission rolls on here on the PHP network. We'll be back with more in a minute.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PHProwlers, and Twitter at PHProwlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Prowlers
Back here on the PHP network, Port Huron leading Danbury 3-2. Brady Beaton back here in the McMorrin studios. And while the game's going on, we just talked about the highlights, kind of dove into everything. Yesterday was a rarity in professional hockey. You don't get it as an adult too much, but the Prowlers had a snow day. If you're unaware, last night's game, and I mean, Will can correct me if I'm wrong. I believe I got the call from him about 80 minutes before puck drop saying that the game was canceled. There were actually a few very enthusiastic fans already in the building when they decided to make the call to cancel it. So a rare snow day. So I did this back in November. We talked about the best Thanksgiving plate. Now I want to talk about some of the best snow day activities because that is one of the best feelings. Now, for the young ones out there, you probably just get a notification on your phone saying school's canceled. That is, I mean, I'm sure it's a great feeling, but there was something about back in the day. You'd have to wake up, you'd have to go to whatever your local public channel was or go to the news and watch it, at least in Michigan, it go through each county one by one, waiting. And the old joke, it was like the NFL draft. You're waiting for your school's name to pop up, and you'd have to wait all the way for us in Port Huron in St. Clair County, and it would take a long time. And, you know, if you were lucky, and by the time I got into high school, they were starting to call them the night before. Superintendents weren't quite as stingy as they were when I was younger, but you'd get up, you'd wait to see it come through, and when you'd finally see it at 6:30 in the morning, you knew you had a great day ahead of you. You try to call your friends, figure out what's going on. Let's throw out the first one. Obviously, if it was cold enough, pond hockey is a great one. A few drawbacks, I will say, of playing pond hockey. If you don't have the boards up, if you're just on a public park rink or whatever, you got to have a lot of pucks because there's a lot of, hey, overshot the puck. You have to go chase it down and make sure the skates don't get dinged up, have to go find it in there. But I do think one of the classics, and it stood the test of time. It's like a three-piece suit. It's always going to be in, whether it's 100 years ago or 100 years from now. You go and find the biggest hill in your town. You go and find the snowiest spot, and you go sled. Listen, and it doesn't matter if you have a fancy $30, $40 sled or you just grab a garbage can. That's one of the best ones. And then it always inevitably seems to end up in a snowball fight. And snowball fights, when you have a group of friends, and maybe when you're a little younger, when you get unsupervised, so you can be a little rowdier than you would be, it's always fun until someone picks up some snow, and it might have a little something extra, maybe a little bit of ice, and then that's when the snowball fight would always just get a little extra heated. But no, those were always great. A personal one I always enjoyed. A couple of friends I'd do this with, their parents would like have a snow plow, and they'd push it all into one 8-foot tall pile, so it's twice the size of fourth grade Brady, and you have to dig through, and we dig through the pile and make a little snow fort. Those were always good ones. And then, of course, after you go in, you get the hot chocolate. You can't feel your hands for 30-ish minutes or so, and you'd get through there, and you'd go, and by that time it's dinner time. You go, and then you get your fill of your video games. But nothing is better than that feeling of a snow day, especially when it was on a Friday, or you knew you didn't have to come back to school the next day. That feeling was great. Now, as an adult, getting the snow day right before puck drop, and I'd say an hour and a half is as close to right before puck drop, you took away something fun. You took away some Prowlers hockey. Again, that game will be tomorrow, a 1 p.m. puck drop as a makeup game. So we will have Sunday afternoon Prowlers action out in Danbury here on the PHP Network. But just wanted to reminisce a little bit about the joys of a snow day. You don't get it too often as an adult. And sometimes I feel like the adult snow day can be better than the kid's snow day. Because now, having a mortgage, having a family, you can go one of two ways, and they're both equally satisfying. On the one side, you sit around and you do nothing. You don't touch laundry. You don't touch clothes. You sit on the couch and you move just to go up and get a snack every 2 hours. That's all you do. You don't get a lot of those. That's the nice part. The other one, hey, you do the opposite. You get everything done in the house, and you are ready to go for the rest of the day and the rest of the week. But enough of me reminiscing about snow days and how great they are. We have hockey to be played. We'll take a break, come back. Will be live from Danbury here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorrin experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Welcome to the back here in Danbury. Prowlers with a 3-2 lead on the Danbury Hat-Tricks. Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Thank you, Brady, for some awesome winter snow day activities. There was no better feeling than coming in from a long day out in the snow, whether you're sledding, building a snowman, snowball fights, little pond hockey, coming in and having some nice warm hot chocolate waiting for you on the kitchen table. Shout out to my mom for that. But we will get to period number 3 coming up in just a few minutes. Before we get there, let's take a look at what's ahead for the Prowlers. And we have a New Year's Eve game coming up, as this schedule a little bit updated, but the important part, obviously with that Danbury weekend, had to be updated a little bit, so my apologies for that. But the important change that's on there is that New Year's Eve game has been moved, from what I've been told officially, from 9:30 p.m. Now it is 7:30 p.m., much more palatable time for those who may not feel like staying up until the calendar flips to 2026. So 7:30 p.m. in Indiana, we will have it here for you on the PHP Network. And I know that all the crew back at McMorran Place is a lot happier about that as well. But then the Prowlers will return home next weekend against the Indiana Sentinels. 7:05 p.m. puck drops on the 2nd and 3rd. The 2nd, we mentioned it, the first 500 fans over 21 will get a Prowlers adult-size jersey courtesy of the exhibit. So shout out the exhibit for that. And then the following Sunday, January the 4th, Prowlers will be at the exhibit, which is located in Port Huron, and they will be doing a meet and greet, and you can bring that jersey and get it signed by the entire team. So be there early for that one on January the 2nd. That one's also 80s night, so if you like to come out and celebrate the 80s, that is the perfect game to come to. And then January the 3rd is the Law Enforcement Torch Run for Special Olympics night, which is always one of our most popular theme nights every single year. That is a 7:05 p.m. puck drop from McMorran Place. This year's theme, a masquerade theme. So wear your 3-piece suits and masks, and we should have a great time at that one. Get your tickets at phprowlers.com/tickets. As we roll along here on this intermission report, let's peek in again on what's going on around the FPHL at our out-of-town scores. And we start with the division rivals, the Black Bears and the Watertown Wolves. Binghamton all over Watertown right now. It is 6-1 in upstate New York, as they are just about finishing up that game in the next few minutes. CJ Stubbs has 2 goals to lead the way for the Black Bears. Rock Lobsters have made it a 3-0 game on the PD Ice Cats. Late stages, second period. Garrett Milan added the third in the middle frame for Athens. Twin City Thunderbirds have gotten on the board, but they trail the Columbus River Dragons by a score of 2-1. They're early in period 3. Jan Salak got the Birds on the board, but again, they are still down to Columbus. Bobcats and Sentinels locked in another tight battle for the second straight night. It was 3-1 Blue Ridge at one point in the first period. Then it was 3-3. Nick Stuckless has the goal that untied the score midway through period 2. They're still playing in the second at Hamilton Community Ice Arena, and it is 4-3 Blue Ridge. The Mocs and Scarecrows have yet to find a goal late in period 1 in Topeka. Meanwhile, the Zydeco had the only goal in Biloxi, courtesy of former Prowler Ross Bartlett. Once again, the out-of-town scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir. Use code Prowlers for 15% off at Love After Hours. Prowlers getting set to hit the ice here as they head back out for the final 20 minutes of play. They'll have 1 minute and 44 seconds of power play time to work with when they get out there. As we take a look at the game stats, 3-2 Prowlers. They're up by 14 shots on goal in that department. Both teams 0 for on the man advantage, but Port Huron on its third power play of the game. Again, 1 minute and 44 seconds remain on it as we get set for the start of period number 3. Reed Cooper getting set in the goal crease down to our right. He has made 16 saves on 18 hat-trick shots. Sebastian Risar in the goal crease to our left, 29 saves on 32 Prowler shots. Caden Fennell remains in the penalty box for holding the stick. Prowlers did get 2 shots on net right at the end of that second period, and their power play continues. They have Blake Anderson's unit out to begin. Off and running in period 3 as Artu Hakala had his pocket picked. Port Huron able to keep the puck alive momentarily. It's sent out to Johnny Ruiz shorthanded. Ruiz on his backhand stopped, and Ruiz right back on it. Prowlers swarm him to get the puck back. Price off to Anderson on the right wing side, back towards Price, just touched it wide. Puck loose behind the net, grabbed by Pickford and cleared. Favaro wheels around his net, his team making changes as he fires up the left wing side. Favaro gets in, 2 hat tricks ran into each other. Favaro or Johnson, they switch spots. Johnson got it down deep. Graham in front, swept through the blue paint by Bucell. Now Lockney off the back wall. Graham taking a look, tried to center. Bucell got a shot away. Lockney's rip blocked. Now Johnson looking towards the net. Over to Federley. Walks in and shoots, and a save by Risar. Tossed back in front. Lockney flags it down. Looking towards the net. Lockney. Johnson steps in, makes a move, and Fronduto chopped the puck off his stick. Graham, center, looking for Bucell. Squirts out to Johnson. Lockney. Johnson once more. Now Federley, final seconds ticking off this Prowlers power play. Lockney looking for Bucell, couldn't get it to him. Comes right to the penalty box where Fennell played it while he was still standing in the box, and Caden Fennell has to go right back in. You have to step out of the penalty box before you play the puck, and you see Caden Fennell still in the box, not on the ice as he played it. So the Prowlers right back to the power play. And that's one of those rules that you maybe see once a season, if that, around the entire league. It's one of those weird ones, but Port Huron right back to the man advantage here for another 2 minutes. Blake Anderson being asked to leave the faceoff, as is Noah Robinson, so it'll be Hakala against Belfay instead. Belfay won it back. Sisinski able to float it all the way down. Favaro stops behind his net. He starts up. Drops it back to Price. Hakala enters the offensive zone. Favaro down to Hakala. Port Huron sets up. Lockhart straight away to Favaro. Back pass for Anderson. Back to Favaro. Those two continue to play catch under duress from the hat tricks penalty killers. Loose puck, Sisinski able to send it all the way down. Port Huron switching up the unit. Favaro trying to get away from Crom, handed off to Matt Graham. He fires ahead, 3-on-3 as he hits the line. Graham to an area for Bucell. He overskated it. Able to get it back to Graham. Up to Johnson. D to D, Federley. All the way across the zone to Graham. Center Bucell got a touch on it. Just went over top of the cage. Valley on his back end. Only got as far as Graham. Across! Great save, Resar on Lockney. Sebastian Resar, highway robbery for the second time in this game. 30 seconds left on the Prowlers' man advantage. Graham or Federley. Bucell down towards Matt Graham. Juggled by Sisinski. Fronduto chased by Lockney. Bucell bounced it up high. Johnson fires and it's gloved down by Sebastian Resar. 9 seconds left in the penalty to Fennell. But Sebastian Resar with a huge save on Lucas Lockney earlier on in the sequence. And he keeps the Prowlers up by just a goal. Port Huron keeping this unit out there. Tied up, Belfay won it back. Now Leikov left it for Belfay. He enters the offensive zone. Leikov had it taken off his stick. Cooper forced to cover up as Belfay went to the net, and Bucell wants a word with Austin Belfay. And the fellas gathering around the Yule log, but not to tell stories, to duke it out. A full meeting of the minds there in the corner. Looks like this faceoff will move outside of the Prowlers zone as a result of the hat tricks defense coming in to join the scrum. So good news for Port Huron. Port Huron has Anderson's line out there. He'll draw against Robinson. Lockhart chases after the puck. Rims it up towards Anderson. Kept alive at the line and gloved down by Cooper as Sisinski floated it on net. About 4 minutes gone here in period 3. Prowlers still leading the hat tricks 3-2. Anderson won the draw back. Parsons up to Price through his stick though. And this one will go all the way down for an icing. And we'll bring the faceoff all the way back down to Reed Cooper's end. Price scored the first goal of this game for the Prowlers. This line has played very well these past few games since they've been put back together. Pulled off the draw by Lockhart. Anderson for DeCumbus. He lost the handle and ran into Leikov. Parsons backhanded the puck deep. Resar, handoff for Fennell. Belfay, lead pass for Leikov. Working on Lockhart. Leikov made a move. And Cooper covers the puck up as Leikov didn't really get a shot away. He was closed off by Brett Lockhart as he tried to dangle. Another draw deep in Port Huron's end. You take another look at the chance for Leikov. Tried to pull it between his legs and kick it back ahead. Cooper had the goal stick out and ended up using the glove. Puck loose behind the net. Kandirka gets there first. Harassed by Organ. James trying to make a pass ahead, just did get out of the zone. Pickford turns it the other way. Gets his way through James. And now Bucell hustling after the puck in the offensive end. Cycles it deep. Bizal for James. Pinned by Pickford. Puck grabbed by Tukane. Konderka for Crom. Knocked off his stick. Johnson and Crom come together below the goal line. Favaro dumped his man. Here's James with some space. Gets to the red line. Send the cross-corner dump in, or bounced it right on Resar, and Resar had to be alert. He hangs on. We got a whistle, and we'll take a timeout. Prowlers 0 for 2 on the power play in this period. They still lead by a goal.
Hi, what can I get for you?
I'd like some McMorrin fries, please.
All right, that's going to be $4. Okay.
She shoots, she scores with the new Prowlers debit card.
Don't you have somewhere to be? The game's on.
Get your Prowlers debit card only at Flagship Community Federal Credit Union, located on Lapeer Road in Port Huron. Flagship Federal Credit Union is federally insured by the NCUA.
Back here in chilly Danbury Ice Arena, Will Wiggleman here with you on the PHP Network. Johnny Ruiz and Matt Graham get set for this face-off. Port Huron with a 1-goal lead. Here comes Rupsov. Ahead to Leikov. Has Ruiz going to the net. Leikov center. Didn't get all the way through. Rupsov couldn't control the bouncing puck. Leikov could. Sends it across the blue line to Mo Valley. Down deep. Rupsov pinned to the boards. Ruiz comes in to help out. So does Austin Federley. Graham digs it out of the pile. Lockney ahead to Hakala. Back to Lucas Lockney. Slows up. Lockney gets the middle. His shot gloved by Resar. Sebastian Resar flashing the leather once again in this game, but good delay from Lockney as he knew he didn't have back pressure. Able to get himself in a good shooting area. Face-off coming to Resar's right. Rimmed around. Ronduto lost it. Johnson pulls it off the wall. Off to Price with speed on the left wing. Price the shot, hit the post. He went short side on Resar, beat him, but couldn't beat the iron. Favaro ahead. Anderson for Price once again. This time looking past, couldn't find an option. DeCumbus goes on the brakes, trying to spin away from a couple of hat tricks. Price tried to come in to help out. And up comes Tukane. Out of his zone. He'll bounce it in and head off for a change. Favaro ahead to James, who tips it into the offensive end. Here comes Belfay the other direction. Good poke by Lockhart. He'll go across to Brett Morick. Harassed by Leikov. Buselin on that puck. Morick and Robinson tied up. Finally pulled out of the pile by Pickford. He heads up ice. Indirect feed looking for Leikov out of his reach. No icing here as Leikov won the race. Robinson sent it all the way around. Pickford pinches in to keep the puck deep. Robinson looking towards the net. Now is blocked on the way through. Now James scoops up the puck all by himself with his team heading to the bench for a change. He'll just get it deep and head off as well. Pickford lost the handle. Hakala with a steal. Turns the corner. Tried to get it on net. It was blocked. Belfay. High flip in. Oregon flags it down. Kicked off of Lockney's skate. Left wing side, Graham flying in. Graham takes a look on his backhand, sent it through. And Risar able to cover up with the glove. Or cover up with his blocker, I should say. Matt Graham had his head up looking for options and just put it on, and Sebastian Risar able to cover up. Well, the Prowlers are on the ice, so grab a glass of Proper 12 Irish Whiskey. Proper 12, the official shot of the Port Huron Prowlers. Please drink responsibly. Off this face-off, a Voro quick shot. Stopped by Risar. Anderson's pass to the point ended up escaping the zone. Cooper playing it behind the net, plays it away from Pamelayan, off to Favaro. His pass came back to him. Got it ahead. Anderson finds it at the blue line. Spins away from Fennell. Price back towards the point. And it bounced away. Johnson looking for it here. It's Lakov, a cross one-timer, and it wouldn't go. I don't know if Cooper got that or not, but Kendurka had the one-timer on the back side, and the Hat-Tricks could not tie it. Take another look, Kendurka. And I think Cooper may have gotten a piece of that with his glove. It stays 3-2, 11 minutes to go in regulation. Prowlers try and stretch it on for Lockney. It gets to him. Lockney in with a shot over top of the cage. Rupsov with Lakov going to the net. And then Lakov lost his balance and ended up going into the cage and knocking it off its moorings. A whistle and a face-off deep in the Prowlers' end. As there's Lakov just tripping as he tried to cut to that puck as it was going below the goal line. Face-off will come outside of Port Huron's end. Sisinski sent it down deep. Parsons trying to spin away from Lakov. Got it through Ruiz, but it's turned over to Rubtsov. He tried to come back into the offensive end before Lakov had left. So that is offsides against Danbury. I expect to see a lot of that trio, Rubtsov, Ruiz, and Lakov, as time continues to tick down in this game. Newberg won it to the wall. Sent deep. Parsons, watched by Tomasi, up to Bazal. Got through him. Goes all the way down, and it will have enough for an icing. So another icing by the Prowlers in this third period, and another face-off down in Reed Cooper territory. Newberg and Bucell out to take it. Bucell won it back. James takes the rim. Tried to float it ahead towards Bazal. It didn't get all the way there. Newberg and Lockhart after the puck. Popped high up. Lockhart gloves it down. Bazal starts up, makes a move. Here he comes. Connor Bazal off to the right wing to James. Ungoal swallowed up by Risar. No rebound. We'll take a timeout. Prowlers still up by a goal. But the Hat-Tricks have been threatening. Prowlers also trying to find the next one here in Danbury.
Discover everything banking should be with Advia Credit Union, like earning real financial advantages. You can earn up to $1,000 with your new account. Plus, save an average of nearly $4,000 in interest when refinancing. Get started with a low-rate credit card balance transfer. Enjoy easy access to your money anytime, anywhere. Make the switch today at adviacu.org/real people. Advia Credit Union. Real advantages for real people.
Back here in Danbury, under 10 to play in period 3, the unsponsored period. Please email Chris at phprowlers.com if you would like your business's logo on the third period here on the PHP Network. Prowlers with a 1-goal lead. Austin Pickford able to toss the puck out of his own end. Johnson flags it down. Got it ahead, bounced back by Fennell. He tosses it in, heads after it. The two number twos, Fennell and Favaro, come together as Fennell threw a check behind the net. Cooper able to grab that dipping puck. And now some more physicality going on. Everybody has a hold of each other. Take another look, Cooper able to scoop it up, and then Johnson and Fennell came together. Face-off coming to Cooper's left. Graham and Belfay there for it. Lightcov lined up right at the top of the circle behind Belfay, but Graham wins the draw back. Austin Federley, high flip. Lands right in Pickford. Federley gets it back. This time he goes off the boards to Hakela. Handoff is for Lockney. Hakela once more dumps it in. Resar plays it right up the boards into Hakela. Lockney pulls it out. Behind the net. Tried to play it back to himself. Centering feed taken away by Belfay. Behind the net, it's Pickford. Ahead to Lightcov. 3-on-2 for the hat-tricks if they hurry. Lightcov across, and the pass just handcuffed Robinson. Federley has lost his stick. The turnaround shot deflected over top of the net. Lightcov gets there first. He's taken out by Lockney. Penalty coming up against Lucas Lockney. Tripping the call, and a big man advantage opportunity here for Danbury. As Lucas Lockney has scored to the box, and you see it there. Lightcov, who hounds the puck with all of his speed, able to win the race there, and Lockney just got his stick in the legs of Alexander Lightcov. Second opportunity for Danbury on the man advantage in this one, and they're 0 for 1. It's their biggest chance of the night. Belfay wins the draw back. Belfay tried to turn on net, and it didn't get through. Cooper able to scoop up the opportunity from Crom right in front. As Belfay didn't get much on his attempt down low, Crom scooped it up right in the crease, and he didn't get much on his shot either as he was tied up. Reed Cooper able to scoop it up with the glove. Faceoff comes to the boards, bounced up high. Pickford, Rubtsov back to Pickford. Looking towards Ruiz, good stick by Price as Ruiz was trying to get a one-timer. He did get out of the referee's skates and fired up to Pickford. Rubtsov. Center to Belfay, looking towards Ruiz. Nice stick by Johnson to get in that passing lane. Pickford up to Belfay, wraps it deep. Cooper leaves it for Johnson. Up the boards and past Belfay and out. Pickford retreats up to Rubtsov. Hat-trick switching up their power play unit. It's Tukane in deep. 3 hat tricks, 2 Prowlers digging away. Tukane. Indirect feed up top to Sosinski. Walks, shoots, blocked by James. Touchdown the zone. James and Sosinski in a foot race for it. And the bigger Sosinski wins that. Back the other way comes Robinson. Pass was behind Legkov as Robinson had to pull up. Prowlers able to get it back down again. Fronduto with 32 to go in the power play for Danbury. Legkov. Up to Robinson. He couldn't handle it cleanly. Johnson can. And he sends it the length of the ice once more. Under 7 to play in regulation. Resar, 2-line pass up to Legkov. Favaro takes it from him after the good hit by Price. He gets it to Bobby Price, who cuts in. Price fanned on the shot as he had his stick lifted. Price still battling with Mavalli for it. Robinson comes back to grab the loose puck, but the penalty is over. Robinson back towards Mavalli. Watched by Price. Mavalli would go off to his left. Pass was too far in front of Pickford. Resar takes a look. Play it right up the far side boards. Comes to Lockhart in neutral ice. Johnson ahead, tipped in by James. Comes all the way around for Bazal. Bucell around towards James. Sweeps it up high. Johnson looking. He shoots. It's blocked by Fennell, the defenseman who came all the way out to the blue line. Puck did stay in the zone though. Pickford up to Konderka. Now Fennell. Right in on Cooper. And he will hang on for a whistle and a face-off. 5:43 left to go in regulation. Prowlers hanging on to a 3-2 lead. Draw will be to Cooper's right, and the hat tricks have the big guns out. Ruiz to draw against Anderson. Ruiz won it over to Lightcop. To the line, shot came through and dipped wide. Oregon steps in front of his net. Anderson out of the zone. Gets the red line, wraps it around. Lightcop lost the handle. Here's Anderson over to Federley. Now Oregon. Up to Anderson. Has Price going to net. Got it to him. Price on the backhand. And a save made by Resar. Good speed by Price. Cutting to the net. And he got a nice backhander off. Resar able to make the save. Port Huron with an offensive zone draw here. Hat-tricks have been pushing to try and get this tying goal, especially over the last few minutes. Sosinski missed the pass from Resar. Ruiz ahead towards Rubtsov. Lockhart got down on a knee to keep it in front of him. Hakala for Lockney. And now Hakala after the dump. Tukane had it taken by R2 Hakala. Around the net, kicked it up to his stick. Tukane and Graham come together. Legkov off the boards and out. Favaro flags it down, looks ahead. Quickly ahead to Graham. Has Lockney going towards the cage. Graham shot blocked. Bounced out. Chipped in. Newberg and Johnson after it together. Newberg got back towards Tomasi. Lockney able to slide it across the neutral zone. Pickford's pass blocked by Morick. Favaro lost it to Tomasi, and his long-range try grabbed and held by Reed Cooper, and we will take our final timeout. 3-2 Prowlers in the final minutes of regulation here in Danbury.
Discover 1195 Gastropub in Marysville. Burgers, pizzas, apps, and pub favorites like filet mignon and grilled salmon. Open Monday to Friday, 4 to 9 p.m., weekends 12 to 9 p.m., Join us for happy hour, Monday to Thursday. Enjoy half-off bottles of wine every Wednesday, and don't miss Thirsty Thursday with $4 draft beers. Great food, cold drinks, good times. That's $11.95 Gastro Pub.
It's time to wake up on the sunrise side of Michigan. Wake up to beautiful beaches. Wake up to vibrant urban landscapes. Wake up to unique eats. Wake up to charming coastal towns. Wake up to cozy entertainment. Wake up to Michigan's Thumb Coast. Plan your perfect wake-up call using bluewater.org.
We invite you to tune in to our next broadcast. That will be tomorrow, Sunday, December the 28th. Puck drop scheduled for 1 p.m. and the pregame show starts at 12:45. It's all right here on the PHP Network. That was the game that was supposed to be played last night at 7:30 p.m., but instead, because of all the snow, it got pushed to tomorrow afternoon. So we hope you'll join us here for that one. Here's Price, wheeling ahead, has Tecumseh with him. Price shoots off the post, his second post of this period. Tecumseh with a steal, put it back out in front. Resar got his paddle on it. Penalty coming up. After all of that chaos, slashing the signal. It's Greg Sosinski heading to the box. Here's Bobby Price. Second iron of this frame, again going blocker side on Resar. Then Resar had some trouble with the puck behind the net, but Greg Sosinski is in the box for slashing. So the Prowlers are going to their 5th power play of the game with 3:45 left to go. And a huge opportunity to either take 2 minutes off the clock, more than half of what's left, or get a big insurance goal. There's a funny bounce off that door in the far side corner. Austin Federley slips away from Crum. Federley gets in. Federley still going on the backhand save. Resar cleared off the glass all the way down.
Number 95, Gregory Sosinski, who receives 2 minutes of slashing. Time of the play 16-15 in the third period.
Johnson.
2 minutes for
With
slashing.
Belfay watching his every move. Gets into the offensive zone. Johnson cuts across. Lockney slides down the boards. Harassed by Robinson. Poked back up high dangerously. Belfay couldn't get to it. Bucell 1-on-3. Works his way to the outside. Bounces it around behind the net in Lockney's direction. Comes back towards Bucell. Now Lockney. Bucell once more. Head up. Lockhart looked like he was going to pinch in, but Bucell lost the handle. Favaro towards Bucell. He let it go. And it was blocked by Tukane. Tukane able to find the puck and clear it down. And now we have whistles. I think the referees think that went out of play, but I'm not sure. It maybe it hit the corner glass, as they have rounded corners here at the benches, and that may be considered out of play here, and that would be the only reason. Is that might be the reason. Either way, offensive zone faceoff for the Prowlers, as they make out on the positive side of that call. Favaro gets the puck down and around. Fennell tried to poke it through Price, and he's able to get it all the way down. Favaro. 15 seconds left to go on the Prowlers power play. Under 2 left in regulation. Anderson fanned on the shot. Bounced the puck down deep. Price back up in Anderson's direction. On the half ball. Over to Favaro. Steps in. His shot pinballed wide. Price. So we're back to 5-on-5. Sosinski spinning off a check. Dutel floated it all the way across the zone. Now it's Newberg ahead towards Pickford. And Favaro able to take it from him. Resar started heading to the bench, but now he has to go back. Crom working in. Now Resar to the bench. Extra attacker on for the hat tricks. Puck loose up in front, and Cooper able to cover up and get a whistle and a face-off. As that puck hopped from the corner to the middle of the ice, and Reed Cooper aggressively out to jump on top. We have a timeout here called by the Danbury Hat Tricks. Have I mentioned how cold it is in here? Need to get something from the Prowlers team store. Maybe a hat, maybe some socks. Shop.phprowlers.com if you want to get something for yourself. Something for you, maybe something for the kids. They have onesies. But focusing in on this game that has 69 seconds left in it. Prowlers with a 3-2 lead. Danbury held leads of 1-0 and 2-1. But the Prowlers scored two real greasy blue-collar goals in that middle frame to take the lead. And that's where we stand. Prowlers tied up the hat tricks within 61 seconds. Both times Danbury took the lead. Hat tricks have Robinson, Rubtsov, Frunduto, Pickford, Ruiz, and Lightcov out there. That's their 6. And a few guys jumped. We get a false start penalty. And now Ruiz will take the draw instead of Robinson. Comes to the boards. Moved up high. Pickford down to Rubtsov. To the net. Blocked by Johnson down on a knee. And it just does escape the zone, as Favaro's the one that pitchforked it out on the backhand. Rimmed back in. Rubtsov around behind the cage. Johnson trying to pin it there and waste some time. Ruiz to the point. Pickford. Ruiz turns towards the net. Watched by Graham. Slid it all the way across. Rubtsov down low. Kicked out by Favaro and flipped out of the zone by Hakala. Rolling towards the empty net, and Pickford able to hustle back and grab it. 30 seconds to go. Lockhart with a steal. Sends it towards the empty cage. He's got it. Brett Lockhart's second of the year seals the deal in Danbury. All the way from his own end. Bullseye for number 18. That'll send the fans to the exits. I think Brett Lockhart is saying something along the lines of, I can only score in Danbury. Both of his goals have come here at Danbury Ice Arena this season. Wrapped all the way around. James able to toss it out. 12 seconds left. Mavali claps it back deep. Resar is in his crease. It ends up stopped behind the net. Oregon takes it there. Slips past a hat trick. And that will do it. The Prowlers take down the hat tricks. For the third time this season, they move to 3-0 in Danbury Ice Arena. 4-2 your final, and Port Huron has won 3 in a row.
Fans, your final score for today's game. Hat tricks 4, Port Huron 2. Be sure to come
The
back
Prowlers, again,
with
with a big win here tonight against a hat-trick squad that looked a lot different than the last time these two teams met. The Prowlers still able to come away with 3 points. An excited group heading off to the locker room. But please do stick around for the post-game show here on the PHP Network. We'll send it back to our McMorran Place studios with Brady Beaton for highlights and analysis. We'll also take a look at the final game stats, and then we'll take it back here in Danbury for the locker room reaction. We'll hear from our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, as well as Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin. All that coming up here on the PHP Network. As the prayer circle here at center ice. Some white jerseys, some orange. But always a great sight at the end of a hard-fought hockey game. We'll take a break, and when we come back, we'll send it back to Brady Beaton in our McMorran Place studios. And it's coming up next here on the PHP Network.
Are you sick of asking somebody else to live your own life? I'm Josh with the Franchise Guys. If you're ready to quit your job or build your empire, I'll help you trim down my 800 franchise brand partnerships down to a few that fit you, fit your goals, and fit your budget. With options from senior care to airplane detailing, there's an opportunity for you. Owning a franchise can have up to a 90% success rate. That's better than job security. With the systems and support of a franchise, you won't be making all those costly mistakes as you would if you started your own business from scratch. And with options as low as $6,000 to get your own job-replacing business, there's no better option for you than to book a free call with me and my team. Visit GoFranchiseGuys.com. Stop dreaming about a better life and go live it.
This isn't working. LJ, pass me those flyers. No look behind the back pass. It's a whole play. I'll take. Come on. Gap up. Close the gap. Close the gap. What are we saying? This isn't working. We need a shift change. Let's bring in the professionals.
Christmas is about gratitude, and we're really thankful for everyone who supported our new coffee launch.
I'm just thankful for this coffee and fire to keep me alive during the holiday rush.
Well, I'm really thankful for this new eggnog latte to keep me warm during
Eggnog. Eggnog. Funny word.
Try any of our new holiday specials at the Milk House. We look forward to warming your soul this holiday season.
Hey guys, what's going on?
Hi guys, we just stopped at Industrial Park Marathon to get some fuel and some snacks before the Prowlers game at McMorran.
Nice. Yeah, we just stopped by here at Industrial Park Marathon so I can get a Slurpee before the game.
Wait till after the game. If the Prowlers score 3 or more goals, Slurpees will be free.
Thanks for the info. I'm going to get my Slurpee after, but we'll see you at the Prowlers game.
See you at the game. Go Prowlers!
Back here on the PHP Network post-game show, your Prowlers get a 4-2 win as they double up the hat tricks in Danbury. A fun one on a Saturday night for sure. Let's take a look at how this game went down. It actually started off a little strong for Danbury. They would score first, not very long into the game, and Reed Cooper, a lot of traffic out in front, a nice drop pass sets up the game's first goal, 1-0 Danbury, and 24 hours after the first game game of the series was supposed to be played. The Hat Tricks take the momentum early, but the word of the day, at least from my perspective, resolve for the Prowlers. They get it back and immediately answers the bell. It's Bobby Price that puts the lone goal up for Port Huron in period number 1. Price able to chip that one past Rezar. It's 1-1 Port Huron after 20 minutes of play. Danbury, well, they still kept pressuring. Alex Johnson had to take a tripping minor here to kind of neutralize what was a full-length attack. Some strong skating in Johnson. I mean, he was just trying to get the stick in there. That's a penalty you can take. Only one of 3 penalties Port Huron took all night long, although Danbury would take the lead back from the right wing circle. 2-1 Danbury after an offensive zone win. You see the feed there, and Cooper, it would be the last time he was beat on the night. But just like the first goal, Port Huron answers again, this time not the prettiest goal. Luke James, we think, scored this goal. We'll be able to ask him in the post-game show. But yeah, that doesn't look like a goal by any sense, but I'm telling you it is. You'll see the official in the next angle emphatically point to the back of the net. Let's give a little round of applause for the stripes on this one, because he is in position. You're not going to see the puck. And then you see the official right behind, right on target. You know, usually we're pretty mean to officials on broadcast. That time, I think he gets a couple snaps, a round of applause. He was right on that. And it also helped that he called a Prowlers goal. So maybe I'm a little biased, but that made it 2-2. Port Huron and Danbury all tied up. And then Port Huron would take the lead. Another kind of just grinded out goal. Matt Graham, the everlasting veteran. High IQ, puts himself in spots to get bounces like this. He's sitting on the doorstep, and just like Happy Gilmore, all he had to do was tap it in, and it's 3-2 Port Huron. Here, Danbury takes a penalty as the hat trick player did not step out of the box. Will was all over that one. You know, that's a rule I had never thought of, but I didn't know. Bobby Price, he had a tough night trying to find the back of the net, kept hitting the post. And then at the end of the game, Brett Lockhart, he calls out Kobe from behind his own blue line, makes it 4-2 Port Huron, and seals the Saturday night win. Prowlers with a strong win over the Danbury Hat Tricks, 4-2. And the stat I mentioned during those highlights that I really want to emphasize, Three penalties taken, and like the Alex Johnson penalty, you can live with that. Nobody is asking the Prowlers to play 60 minutes of a clean sheet. That, you know what, it almost turns into the other way. When it's almost when a quarterback doesn't throw interceptions. A few interceptions are a good thing, because that means you're playing with a little bit of risk. You're playing with a little bit of an edge. You're trying to make things happen, and penalties are going to happen in the span of a hockey game, especially if you play with a little bit of an edge. But when you go back to the losing streak, a lot of them were frustration penalties after the whistle. And I'm going to tell you what, if you didn't watch the whole game, there were many chances for the Prowlers to let their tempers get the better of them. The cooler heads prevailed. There were some scraps, there was some hugging and dancing, but nothing ever escalated. And it's not a coincidence that as the penalty minutes have gone down, the wins have gone up. Let's take a look at the game stats here after this one. Again, the one that's going to stand out to you is penalty minutes. The other one I do want to mention, shots on goal. Port Huron heavily outshot the Hat Tricks, and it really was from the middle of the second period on. It felt like the Prowlers really wore them down and was able to just create more opportunities, and as they did that, they were able to, prevent them. Reed Cooper was able to find a little bit more of a rhythm, and Matt Graham's teams over the last couple of years, they're not going to be teams that are going to win 6-5 shootouts. As you take a look here, shots on goal 42-27, and only 2 power plays for Danbury. A very strong showing for Port Huron. That is a clean win for the Prowlers, and one that, as a Prowlers fan, and you can hang your hat on that. You're starting to build up what you saw at the beginning of the year when they went to Danbury and got a couple of wins. When they beat an albeit a little banged up, but a Binghamton team here at McMorran Arena. That's the type of hockey that if the Prowlers can play that come March, come April, they could be in a spot where they were last year, and hopefully it get to a spot where they were trying to get to last year. That is a prototypical Prowler hockey game. We'll step aside, come back with more in a bit here on the PHP Network on the postgame show.
Hockey is like a business. One missed pass can derail the perfect plan. Have Taft Consulting help you get your whole team on the same page. They have the expertise to help you follow through on all your goals. Find out how they can help you today by emailing taftconsulting@outlook.com.
What's more authentic than a Hungry Howie's Detroit-style pizza? Nothing. We're not playing around with the pizza of our birthplace. Thick crust, cheese to the edge, sauce on the top. Where it belongs. We've seen a lot of fakes out there. Not here. This is authentic Detroit-style pizza. Order yours now online for $12.99. We sauce the top and rep for the 313 everywhere. We do bold. Hungry Howie's!
SMR Automotive Systems is part of the Motherson Group and a proud community sponsor of the Port Huron Prowlers. We are one of the largest manufacturers of rearview mirrors for passenger vehicles in the world, with local plants in Port Huron and Marysville. We strive to support our local communities and have positions available for various abilities and experience. Find out more about who we are at smr-automotive.com.
Hello, I'm home.
There he is.
What is happening?
Relax. We won. They brought back the snack wrap. Spicy or ranch?
Spicy.
Yeah, go. Yeah. Just one little bite.
Can you stop?
Oh, sorry.
Gather your crew. Snack Wrap is back.
Go.
Back here on the PHP Network postgame show, Prowlers celebrating a 4-2 win over the Danbury Hat-Tricks as Will continues to talk to our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Luke James, and associate head coach Chris Paulin. Let's take a look at what's going on all around the Federal Prospects Hockey League. A full slate of action here on a chilly, at least here in Port Huron, Saturday night. As you see, Binghamton, they're doing Binghamton things. 6-1 over Watertown, to be expected. PD struggling down in Athens, 3-1. The Rock Lobsters on top of the Ice Cats. And one of the older rivalries in the in the league, Twin City, formerly Carolina, and Columbus, the River Dragons on top 4-2. Indiana and Blue Ridge, this is becoming a battle. Don't look now, but Indiana is not, it's not going to be a crazy thought to say the Sentinels could be competing for a playoff spot come the end of the year. And, 45, 60 days ago, you would have asked if I needed some help if I was saying that, but they have turned things around. As the Prowlers have found out, they're tied with Blue Ridge 4-4. Topeka at home against the Monroe Moccasins, who are doing great things in the Continental Division. Topeka on top 2-1. Low scoring game. The Zydeco on top of Biloxi 1-0 down at the Gulf Coast. The out of town scoreboard presented by Love After Hours Boutique and Boudoir, as Port Huron, as you know, won 4-2 over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. We'll take a break. When we come back, you'll hear from our Gunther Graphics player of the game, Luke James. You'll hear from associate head coach Chris Paulin. I'm sure a lot to be happy about after a win out in Danbury, a delayed first game of the series, but a win nonetheless. We'll be back after this here on the PHP Network.
Welcome to the new era of Prowlers hockey. New owner, new store, new horn, fire, projectors on the ice. Yeah, this isn't your dad's McMorran experience. This is Prowlers hockey. Get your tickets for the show now at phprowlers.com/tickets.
Keep up with your Prowlers all season long on social media. Follow us on Facebook at the Port Huron Prowlers, Instagram at PH Prowlers, and Twitter at PH Prowlers. And you can find more information on our website, phprowlers.com.
Prowlers hockey is presented by Will Wiggleman back one final time here at Danbury Ice Arena. Prowlers take down the Danbury Hat-Tricks by a score of 4-2. Let's listen in to some of our post-game locker room reaction. And we start with our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, Luke James. I'm with tonight's Gunther Graphics Player of the Game, Luke James. Get that chain on there. Goal for you tonight. How's it feel?
Yeah. Feels great. We kind of just went to the net, and I don't even know what happened. We were all digging for it and went in the net, and we're happy to get that.
I was going to ask because I had no idea how that puck ended up in the net. It just kind of got him in there, and the puck was there too somehow.
Yeah, Buck made a good play to the net. Well, Biz made a good play to the net. Buck got another shot, and then we were just in there digging and saw the ref behind the net, so it all works out.
You guys had an extra night to hang out in the hotel last night. What did you do, and how did you get yourself prepared today, and what was it, a bit of a different day to start a weekend?
Yeah, I think this whole week's been kind of weird, just because of the holidays. But last night, we just kind of hung out, had some dinner, and watched some other games around the league, and just got ready to play today. It wasn't anything crazy, and got a good night's rest. So,
what do you guys have to do tomorrow to get the 6 points?
Same exact thing. Maybe just clean up a couple more details. But we were hard on them all night, and I think that's Prowler hockey. So.
It's our Gunther Graphics Player of the Game. Gunther Graphics, your go-to guy for logos, websites, and branding. I can see my breath. Thank you, LJ.
Thanks, Will.
And I could indeed see my breath. I was looking towards the camera, and Aiden had his light on his camera, and in the light, I could just see my breath. That's just how cold it is here at Danbury Ice Arena. But, you know, true to what they are, an ice arena. It stays cold in here, keeps the ice nice and fresh, and Prowlers able to get the win tonight on that fresh sheet. Let's hear from Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin on the win. I'm here with Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin for the Schultz Roofing Coaches interview following the 3-2 win over the Danbury Hat-Tricks. You guys always talk about how you build your teams to win these types of 3-2 games. How'd you get it done tonight?
Well, you forgot, I don't want to leave Chop out to dry. He scored the empty netter, so 4-2. But it's all right. No, it was a gutty effort from the guys, really gutty effort. I think I would have liked to seen us play lower in the zone. That was a point of emphasis. We didn't really do it in the first period, couldn't really get anything going there, and then thought we made a much better effort in the second period to do that, found some success, found a little bit more ozone time. Third period was not bad either, but really gutty game from our D-core. Really gutty game. Those guys were very focused, disciplined. The mistakes were few and far between. There were mistakes, but few and far between. I thought the consistency of the group back there was really strong tonight. 6 guys that were really excited for each other. They were energetic. I think they were the spine of the team tonight.
You always talk about moving on, turning the page every time something bad happens. How did that contribute to you guys getting those quick responses to them taking the leads?
It was just the mentality we had on the bench. I thought the group did a great job. Whether we got scored on, it was very focused and ready to execute a job for the next shift. And that was huge, right? They score a couple goals. Like they scored to go up 1-0, bang, we respond right away. They scored to go up 2-1, bang, we respond right away. We make an emphasis to land at the net and go in looking and hunting for pucks. And you saw it on that goal. I think it was LJ that jammed it in, but LJ, Buck are in there. Biz made a heck of a play right before that. I think going in with that mentality and winning those battles is huge.
You had that goal in tight. You had the other goal shortly after from Graham in tight. They challenged that one. Did they tell you what they were looking for?
Ref just told me after the game they were looking for if it crossed the line or not, and the guys on the ice were fully confident it did. It was one of those that we kind of wanted them to challenge. Because of the roles that we end up in the power play after an unsuccessful challenge. But they felt the need to challenge it. It was fine. But yeah, a lot to say about the leadership of the group today. I thought the emotions were in check on the bench, but the energy was very high. The energy was very high. We were excited to come in here. We had to wait an extra day, but we were excited to come in here for this challenge. It's a huge rivalry, and tomorrow's going to be an absolute war. Short rest, and I said in the locker room afterward, I like that for this group. Both teams, it's going to really test their conditioning. It's going to test their will. So I think I'm really excited for the group for that challenge. It's such a quick turnaround, and we'll be ready to go for it.
As your Schultz Roofing post-game coaches interview. Thank you, Coach.
You got it.
And that was Prowlers Associate Head Coach Chris Paulin following tonight's game, a 4-2 win for the Port Huron Prowlers. One more reminder, tune in tomorrow afternoon. I know it wasn't on the original schedule, but here we are, the rescheduled game for tomorrow afternoon after the snow last night. So we will get underway here on the PHP Network at about 12:45 p.m. Puck drop is scheduled for 1 here in Danbury, so we hope you'll join us for that. I want to give a big shout-out to the crew back at McMorran Place. Christian Jackson running the show as our technical director. Sean Detvey helping us out with the graphics. Here in Danbury, Aiden Bricker was acting as our second camera. Thanks so much to the Hat Tricks for the use of their main camera as well. For Brady Beaton back at our McMorran studios, I'm Will Wiggleman saying so long. Thanks so much for tuning in tonight, and we will see you tomorrow afternoon right here on the PHP Network.